Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week we have the live letter number 32 to discuss, as well as a few additional details from the patch 3.4 trailer for anyone looking to follow along. Basically, just pull up the patch notes if you're live here on Twitch here. I'll do it for you. Type !doc and you basically have the show notes that we're going to be going over right here. But I can't do this show alone, so while I may be Michael, Mr. Happy Poveromo, joining me, of course, is Slyh, a.k.a. Slythefox, a.k.a. Slyh, a.k.a. Greyfox, a.k.a. you, my boy, Blue. How you doing?
Trial.
Shut up.
Trial.
Shut up.
No, I'm doing good.
Shut up. Yeah, now I'm going to, instead of you saying trial, I'm just going to say shut up every 5 seconds. How about that? All of a sudden, I have a deep feeling of regret introducing you first.
You always do.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true. But, I mean, introducing you first implies we have a guest, so why don't we introduce the other guy who's here? His name is Ethys. You might know him. He talks about, like, lore and stuff.
Oh my God.
And his autobiography is coming out, and it's going to be sold at Fan Festival, apparently, so...
No, but he wants the blank one. He wants the blank one.
Yeah. He wants the blank pages so he can make it, he can write his fanfics and say it's official.
Oh, yeah, I should do that. That's a good idea. just like crayon fanfics with like crayon pictures of Mikote girls with like big wangs. Yeah. Yeah,
big wangs. Excellent. Yeah. It sounds like
big
it sounds like a Reddit shitpost in the making. Is what it sounds like. Yeah. I'm sure if I actually Google Mikote wangs, I'll probably find a Reddit post. I wouldn't do that. I heard you start typing. That's not a good idea by any means. You're begging for trouble, my friend. You're begging for trouble. Yeah, that's...
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that is big. That is very large.
That is very... Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice that you've seen one at some point in your life. But anyway.
You guys, you keep going.
All right, yeah, you're going to keep on going, all right. I can... Yeah. You're going to turn into Kermit the Frog watching Two Girls, One Cup in about 5 seconds. But anyway, so this week we are going to be talking about live letter number 32. And luckily, whenever there's a trailer that is released, we can just play it for the first, 10 minutes of the show and then just relax. So you have plenty of time to sit there wanking to Mikote wangs. You have 10 minutes, as a matter of fact. Just be quiet when you're doing it because they'll still be able to hear the stream. So your microphone should probably be...
We don't want to hear you tapping.
Yeah,
wow, Mike.
We don't want to hear that. I'm just warning you ahead of time.
No discretion.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, guys, we're going to start the stream by showing the patch 3.4 trailer. It's essentially what the entire show is going to be about since it matches what the live letter has to say, plus or minus a few things. Stop looking at it! Giggity. All right. So we're gonna watch this trailer, and you guys are gonna watch it with us, and you're gonna get hype, and then we're gonna talk about it. All right, that's the show tonight. So you two ready to mute your mic so we can watch this trailer together?
Absolutely.
All right.
This I promise you. For we have a power within us, my friends. A power befitting our pride, our righteousness.
Where men go as one, there is life. And where there is life, there is cause to hope.
Greater power, death with more death, a vicious cycle fueled by fear and hatred.
If there is aught you would say it.
He that holdeth fast unto his convictions shall never count betrayal amongst his crimes, though all the world may call him villain.
Alphino, don't go. There is something I must say.
You know our cause. You know what is at stake. We are prepared to do whatever it takes. Are you?
Guide my hand, I pray you, as fate's thread spinneth upon this most capricious spindle.
All right, that's the trailer. That's patch 3.4's trailer. That's
Yes,
speechless. Speechless. I see.
No, I'm still watching the end of it. I'm like 20 seconds behind you.
Yeah.
I like how you couldn't have started at the same time I started it. I told you when I was starting it. You're just watching it through the stream with all.
Yeah, I was watching it through the stream. Whatever.
Oh, why do that?
Yeah, damn 6 million players, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. All right. So, first of all, before we go talking about the live letter itself, impressions of the trailer.
Just general impressions.
Yeah, general impressions.
It's the usual hype that we always have whenever we get new content. If anything, most hyped about Sophie.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me when it comes to you.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
No.
Not one bit. Yeah.
We knew this going in.
Yeah, we definitely knew this going in. What about you, Ethys?
Well, it's a pretty loaded trailer. Like, there's a lot hinted in there. There's a lot to unpack, you know? Loaded.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. And there's some things in that trailer that actually aren't touched on at all in the live letter. Because this was a part 2 live letter. Anything they covered in the first part, they really didn't cover in the second part. So, one of the first things I definitely want to talk about that was not really touched on much in the live letter itself, where they mostly spent time showing off things like, you know, wondrous tales and statues and shit like that. Alexander the Creator. Now, we've kind of already known where Alexander the Creator was leading to in terms of location. Just not very many locations. I'm going to turn my fan off so it doesn't feed into the microphone. How do you like his grand entrance into being fully activated?
Well, we kind of figured that was going to happen, that the barrier would drop and everything that was like kind of in stasis within that barrier, all the rocks that were being held in that barrier would drop, and then of course, you know, the grand entrance. What really surprised me is the actual Alexander fight itself. Like,
How does it surprise you?
Like, I guess I went in half thinking that we would actually fight Alexander in that form, where we to scale, whereas we would just fight the core or something along those lines.
Right.
And then the arena itself, that's pretty interesting too. Playing along the whole time aspect.
It's a literal interpretation of time. Oh, time? Fight on a clock.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Now it's just a matter of what mechanics have to do at the time. So let's start with A9 Savage. Starts actually outside of Alexander, which was surprising.
To be expected. Yeah.
Well, I didn't expect, because the entrance is supposed to be what looks to be on his head itself, like the actual zone in. Because you can land on his head, you know, and you can see the final gate, but apparently you must start like out on like one of the rocks, and there's like a rock in the middle of the lake, or the middle of the river, that you'll probably start on there, and you'll just like jump up his leg and whatever in order to get in there. And of course, his scale when you're inside of the raid versus when you see him on the outside is entirely different.
Yeah,
because he's a TARDIS.
Yeah, he's
exactly.
A TARDIS. So Super Faust rockets his way in. This is the final encounter with Faust. And he's still the gatekeeper, by the way. He's not the boss of A9 Savage, to be clear. He's still just the gatekeeper.
Yeah. Forever a gatekeeper.
Forever a gatekeeper. How many Fausts are we going to see across all these fights? This Faust has been like...
not counting the giant Faust? The giant...
Well, let's see. What have we had? Let's go all the way back. A1 has Faust. A2 has Panzer Fausts, or whatever they're called. A4 has... I forget what they're called there. The ads in A4. You have two more Fausts. Yagdolls. That's what they are. Yeah, you have Panzer dolls, you have Yag dolls. Then you have two more Fausts. Then you have Hummel Faust. Then you have the Faust minion. I don't think there's any Faust. I don't think there's any dolls in 6 or 7, and now we have Super Faust. You have Straff dolls, Yag dolls, all these dolls. There's so many dolls everywhere.
So many dolls.
Is this the granddaddy doll? Is this the last doll we're gonna get to? We're gonna get to encounter. Are there gonna be more dolls in the other fights? Faustlip. That's another one. Yeah, I hope he's called Uberfaust.
That would be on point.
Uberfaust. Hummel. I don't know the naming convention of Hummelfaust. Like I know, like Faust is something I'm familiar with, but I don't know what what Hummelfaust actually is determined as. If there's like a means of determining what the final Faust is actually called.
So a Hummel is a cow or stag lacking horns or antlers.
Okay, that doesn't help at all in any way.
No.
So
It
maybe
doesn't.
it'll be named like Bullfaust. Be like this.
Yeah,
is Bullfaust.
possibly.
There you go.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It'll be a Sneck. There you go.
Snackfaust.
Yeah, Sneckfaust. There you go. Faust Prime. I assume. Now the first boss in 89 Savage looks. I don't know what the fuck that is. It's something with a giant arm that is in the middle of the arena. That's all I've been able to discern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a goblin. I don't know if it's a bugbear. It's just big dude. I don't know. Hummel is Bumblebee in German, so he's Bumblebee.
Oh, there you go.
Bumblebee Faust. I guess that makes sense. Bumblebee's a transformer. Faust.
Yeah, sure. that's a stretch, but all right.
Well, Faust is also a German.
Yeah, of course. Of
So
course.
I'll take it. Bumblebee Faust. There you go. And then we have A10, which thoughts on A10's fight, because it's like in a narrow hallway and there's a fucking street sweeper that's trying to kill you apparently.
That fight looks like it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Now, when we say a nightmare, do we mean an A6 equivalent nightmare, or do we mean there's very little space for me to work with?
Yeah, probably. I think that's going to be like the new A6, just by looking at it. There's just so much shit going on there.
Don't you like spikes?
I love A6, dude. A6 is one of my favorite fights in the game.
But don't you like spikes on the ground?
No, I love spikes. I'm all about them spikes. I'm just saying that I think it looks like a clusterfuck and it's going to be a bit of a wall.
Bit of a wall.
Yeah, like in terms of mechanics, whereas these fights have always been heavy on mechanics, this actually looks like a DPS check, like a DPS heavy fight.
Yeah, from trying to stop it from running you all the way over,
Yeah.
essentially. That's kind of how I felt about it, too.
Or pretty much trying to get to the end, maybe. I don't know. If there is even an end.
You can try to push against it, like, come on, no, just DPS it back, DPS it back. And then they suck, because they're about to lose in this video. Then again,
That would be fun, actually. That would be a fun mechanic, having to push something back with DPS.
Yeah.
Then you have A11, which if you guys don't recognize who that is, I'll be very upset with both of you.
I didn't at first, but that's Ark, isn't it?
That's Ark from Final Fantasy IX. He's smaller here than he is in 9, but that's
Yeah.
Ark. And first thing we get to see is him transform between transformer form and ship form.
Did you just say shit form?
Ship
Yep.
with a P.
Yeah,
Shit
I heard
form?
shit though.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I'm
It's a
sure
bit
you
rough.
did.
What do you ever do to you?
What do you-
You know how he feels about
Listen,
art.
listen? I don't want to talk about Ozma. All right, because Ozma, I beat Ozma, and that's how I got my arc. All right, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, all right.
Does he have a 5-minute intro? Yeah. I hope so, and I hope it plays.
You
the
know what? He
Power,
probably does.
I hope he plays the Power Rangers theme over it. So what do you make of the jumping on his back as he flies around thing? Like, you can't just literally be riding on his back for no reason, right? I can't imagine that there's not more to that than meets the eye.
Well,
God
it could be.
damn it!
It could be that you're avoiding some grand AoE, or it could be something like, when you have to jump on the back of Bismarck to attack his little gooble.
Yeah.
What about you, Sly? What are you feeling?
It's definitely something involved with a certain mechanic or a certain giant AoE mechanic or something like that. Or it could be transporting to another phase of the fight. I don't know.
From what I could tell, it looked like there were bombs flying around, and I have a feeling you have to guide him into said bombs.
You actually have to guide Ark itself.
In order to get out of that phase, you have to guide him into those flying bombs. That's what it looked like to me, at the very least. I just can't help but notice there looks to be.
How would you guide it though?
I don't know. I'd imagine you jump on his back and there's people get on his left side, his right side, and then his middle, and you have to sort of play a fun little balancing game.
It's interesting you say that because of the Sophie fight, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, you might have something with that because
balance.
That seems to be
Balancing might be a theme.
Yeah.
You know what they do whenever they're like, oh, yo, I just thought of this great idea for a mechanic. Put it in every fight in this patch. That's all we'll do.
No, but we'll still keep one major mechanic throughout the entire expansion. Like, we won't get rid of that.
It's not been dive bombs yet, but Ark looks to be bringing it back.
Yeah.
Ark, he's just like, dive bombs, I'm bringing it back. And then you have Alexander himself. After the whole Bahamut thing where we were like, no, we couldn't fight Bahamut, he's too big. Yeah, I mean, they didn't even bother.
It's not hard.
They're like, don't even try to hide it. It's Alexander. Just show him.
I mean, like, he's got time magic. He's a TARDIS. We know that, like, space and time doesn't really mean that much to Alexander. So he's created some kind of, spatial temper anomaly. It's just like, whatever.
You see that crystal right next to Ark?
Mm-hmm.
Going right in there to fight him, aren't we?
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. And that, by the way, a lot of people have been looking at that and going, oh my god, is that Heidelin? It's a lodestone. Like, it's
the lodestone? Is there going to be news
the
on
lodestone.
It? Are the patch notes going to be on it this Friday?
Well, anytime we want to, like, check the patch notes, we're going to have to go in and fight him.
Easy enough.
Get out of here, Alex. I'm trying to read the notes. No, fuck off. I don't want to play with you. Just
trying to read.
I'm just trying to stalk this guy that I want for my
static. That sounds like your trip through the Great Cabal Library coming this patch. But fuck off. I don't want Owl. Leave me alone. Dude, I'm trying to read.
Dude, I wish.
No, Ethys is the Owl.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, you are the Owl.
Apparently I am the Owl.
Alphys. Yeah, you can be. Now, Ethys, very important question though. Mm-hmm. Since you're an owl now, how many licks does it take to get to the chocolatey center of a Tootsie Pop?
How many?
World may never know.
42.
That's a lie. That's the answer to life, not the answer to how many licks it takes. The correct answer is about 460.
You think so?
On one side. I know because I've done it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So they
this actually... This is how you know Mike has too much fucking time.
No! When I was a kid, they had this thing where you could put a Tootsie Pop into this like little container, and every time you licked it, it would count.
Hang on, what the fuck has this got to do with me being an owl?
Because I have no idea. He's talking about the Tootsie Roll commercial with the owl.
Yeah, there's a Tootsie Pop commercial where he.
How would I know that? I don't even know what a Tootsie Pot is. What the fuck's a Tootsie Pot?
Did you just say Tootsie Pot?
You left her behind like 5 minutes ago. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, Happy went on that tangent himself.
Jesus.
I'm glad I tangent.
Hey, everyone. Get me on your show. Get me on your show, and we'll talk about American commercials.
Oh lol.
I'm all over that.
Fucking
Tootsie Pot.
Maybe the commercial had kangaroos in fucking Australia. I don't know.
Yeah. Now there's just a kangaroo licking it.
There you go. No, he holds it to the kid. There you go.
Oh god.
Yeah. There you go. This is a travesty. I agree. Yeah. I'm really happy I went on this tangent. And then you have Alexander. They don't really show us anything of Alexander. They just show us there's one ad.
What? Are they getting divine judgment?
Yeah,
that's all I want.
Absolutely.
That's all I want.
Yeah, divine judgment.
I mean, they at least kept some of my Type 0 tendencies there, so I'll take it.
So all we managed to figure out about Alexander is he goes from small with really weird-looking fucking hands for whatever reason. Maybe he has those hands so he can actually like crawl around the arena so he's not in one spot.
Dude, he's Trump.
God damn it.
God damn it.
And then, you and your Tootsie Pots. Anyway, and then he just goes like his like super phase is him going like full sized or whatever the hell that, and just looking at you like.
Do you think that's a phase, or do you think that that's just like his ultimate?
Well, it's like Brute Justice, how you go from Onslaughter and the other things to essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And you fight him on a clock, and there's an ad that looks like a mini Alexander, essentially from Final Fantasy IX, has wings and shit.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's gonna have to do with anything, but time, man. So the real question is, will there be Nisi? Yeah, probably.
The real question is, how can there be an enrage when you're in a temporal anomaly where time doesn't move?
Because he controls the time. So he's like, well, for the next 13 minutes, time matters. All right.
Well, why wouldn't you just like fast forward it to the enrage?
Yeah, exactly.
Because maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's fast forwarding to his own death. He's like, well, if they kick my ass, I'm just making it even faster, you know?
Oh, so you think he's gonna make it like a 40-minute fight? Like when you start winning, he's just like, well, fuck.
He just reverses time, goes back to full health. Fucking asshole.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you can't be too bright once you give someone like that ultimate control over time magic, and it's like
they're goblins,
fight,
dude.
You know what I mean?
Goblins are stupid.
I don't know, dude. Goblins are pretty smart in their own way.
Yeah.
In their stupid way.
Yeah.
Like, I have everything figured out, but shit, I forgot this one thing, and it's gonna be... They're basically like Imperials from Star Wars.
They're idiot savants. They're people that can, you know, solve all the maths problems and can't tie their shoelaces. My brother's like that.
Are you implying goblins have shoelaces?
No, I'm implying that they might have like some kind of autism.
Well, actually, you know, considering the way that goblins act, they're very single, like they're very focused on one task.
That's not like a burn on.
So they're Rain Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's like their character type. You know what I mean? That's like the fantasy archetype that they're fulfilling.
When they do one thing, they do it. They do it.
Exactly.
There you go. So Alexander, while we're on the topic of him, we've covered the 4 fights. We very clearly see there's 4 fights.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bigger thing is a statement, and I'm sure the 2 people involved in this probably don't want me bringing it up, but it caused a shitstorm over on Reddit, so why wouldn't we bring it up? There you go. There was an official, there was an unofficial mention from Yoshi P of the difficulty of the creator. And he says, in full Best in Slot gear from 3.2, you'll probably have no problem beating 9 and 10. And he even expects that World First will probably happen within 5 days.
He was saying, I can't help but feel like he was saying similar shit.
Yeah.
But every time that he says he expects World First, it's usually like, wait. So what you were saying is it'll be beat by like tomorrow.
I think he might be right that the world first will come quick, but he's saying like generally it's easier, right? He was saying that last time. He was saying that about Midas, you know, being easier than Gordius, and most people were like,
he said the DPS checks were easier, which was mostly true until.
True.
But that's what he's saying now. That's exactly what he's saying now.
He's legitimately saying they've tuned it back like that far. Like, they've tuned it back to the point where they expect a ton more people. And to be fair, a lot more people did beat Midas than Gordius, based on the percentage.
That's true.
When they were relevant. Now, obviously, more people have beaten Gordius than Midas by now. But, I mean, everything is telling me, yes, it is still more mechanically focused than DPS focused, but even in terms of the gear checks, that was the one thing that made Midas take as long as it did. It was the one thing that made Gordius take as long as it did, is it was balanced around the expectation of a certain amount of gear. And for him to say that it can be beaten in under 5 days implies essentially 1 week of lore, if you were to even spend it, crafted. He assumes people will probably have crafted gear, which is a 10 item level bump. And then, you know, whatever, and then 250 weapons. He's essentially saying as long as you can get like the first next set of gear, you'll be okay to beat this if you're at the top of your top game.
Well, that's the thing, is like, he's not saying that it's going to be basic bitch mechanics and it's going to be easy. He's just saying that the sort of gear check isn't going to be there.
Yeah. And I find that interesting because he's never had a correct prediction. Do you think his 5-day prediction will hold true?
I call bullshit on that.
No. I reckon it'll be the day after reset. Day after the first reset.
I'm going to go with... I just have a hard time thinking, because here's the ultimate truth. Anybody who's progressing, the only loot... by the end of the first week, they have full I-250 crafted gear. Anyone who's doing the World First Prog, which is all we're talking about right now, is going to have full 250 gear within the first 2 days, essentially. That's going to include the weapon, whether they have the crafted one or the Sophia one, they're going to have another weapon. And he's saying that I-240 is enough to beat 9 and 10, like, respectively. Like, he's like, you shouldn't need any more gear than that. To me, that does indeed kind of insist that it will be a pre-one lockout kind of win.
Okay.
To put that gear level at that point. Because the second week, all that's going to happen is anyone who could beat 9, 10, 11, they're just going to beat 9, 10, and 11. They're probably not going to buy any armor because they're still waiting in the off chance they get the off chance they need to do a third week of prog, essentially. And and then 3 people can get a weapon on that day. It's like, why would I do that? Unless you're sure you're going to win if you buy like a body piece or something.
Right.
Everyone buys a body piece.
I got a question for you, Mike. Hearing that the prog is going to be pretty sort of quick and painless, were you tempted when you heard that to get back into the race for this patch?
No.
No regrets?
No, because unless I'm going to be able to stream that, in which case I'm kind of just throwing my chances out the way. Like, it's no. I'm going to do my normal prog. I'm going to go into Alexander the day of the patch. I'm going to beat A9 Savage. I'm not saying I'm going to try it. I'm going to beat A9 Savage. I'm going to go beat Sophia. I'm going to go beat Sophia Extreme, and then whatever I have time left for before Stay of the Realm, that's what I'll do. I got 11 hours to get through as much as I can, essentially.
Sweet. Okay. What about you, Sly? You're looking at that going,
Sly, are you going to be getting back into ratings?
I've been kind of, like, weighing the options. I really think I want to. But, honestly, like someone asked me earlier today, I haven't really made a schedule in terms of the patch day. The main thing I want to do, I really want to try to do Sophia EX, and then, if I do end up clearing it before State of the Realm, fine, good. I can go into the Creator, and maybe even raid. I don't know. Like, if I was to do it, I would have to, start looking at groups today.
So you don't have a group? No, you don't have a group.
Yeah. I haven't been worried about raids since, God, I don't know. It's been about a month or two, but I've just been leveling other shit, just getting other shit prepared.
You heard that? Sly needs a group on Behemoth. Dragoon. I'm sorry, Warrior. Warrior on Behemoth.
Bullshit. I'm about to go in as a fucking bard. I'm sorry. Like, I'll get the gear. I can go in as a bard. Don't make me fucking warrior. Please don't. No.
And you, Ethys?
I'm going as a machinist. I'll be a shitty fucking machinist.
Go fine. Go in as a machinist.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be mostly pugging before FanFest because I do have a group. It's a pretty good group, but a couple of people I'm going to FanFest with, they're doing like a trip around the States for the couple of weeks before. So I'm just going to be casual, and then after FanFest, we're going to hit it really hard and hopefully get it knocked over in a month.
They're going to hit it really hard and really fast.
How you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, right.
Just remember to save your aggro reducing abilities for when it lands. That means things like feign death, vanish, fucking the fade, anything. Some people in the chat will understand what that's a reference to, and others will absolutely not. Please explain it to everyone else when you do.
That's the best kind of joke, the ones that only like 3 people get. Your co-hosts are just like, what the fuck is he talking about?
No, I can see all that. Actually, quite a few people in the chat understand the joke that I'm telling right now. There we go. Let's see. So after Alexander, they showed off apartments. Yeah. So first of all, who's buying an apartment?
I don't see why not. I got the money.
I guess.
I mean, there's really no reason to rush and do it.
No. Well, how many aquariums are going to be able to fit it? Because I'm hearing a lot of people that like
aquariums or apartments.
Aquariums. A lot of people that are doing that do like housing stuff seem to think that the aquariums are going to be limited to like 1 per house.
They already said flat out they're limiting it to 1 per like instance of, like, you have a free company room, a house, a free company house, an apartment. Each of them has a limit of 1.
Right.
And they said
if I can't literally fill an apartment with aquariums, not interested.
Well, the thing is, they said that they're only starting with 1 just to play it safe, but they're very likely to increase that cap because they anticipate that people will absolutely want.
Well, call me when the cap's at like 10 or 20, all right?
My chocobo still can't go into an instance. You need to calm down at your demands right now, okay? and your face is freezing at this, and I can't wait for it to freeze in a way that I can take pictures of.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, no.
What about the number of apartments? I mean, at this point, we're still, 6,500 approximately apartments.
Mm-hmm.
How are we feeling about that number? Because at this, I don't think I've been able to get your thoughts on that. I don't think we've had you on since that was announced.
I really think that's plenty. Again, I don't do much like housing stuff, but I've been talking to a lot of people who do, and the consensus seems to be that is plenty. The only thing that strikes me as kind of odd is that you can buy an apartment when you already own a house, whereas I feel like people who don't own a house should probably get priority in some way.
Almost
But
like
why?
hey, give them a 1 week like early.
Yeah, exactly.
But why would you do that when you know there's enough apartments for?
Well, on Gilgamesh and Balmung there aren't. I can tell you that
that's
right now.
the thing is like there probably will be, but at the same time, if people miss out and other people have got like a large FC house, a large house, and an apartment, so people are going to get salty, and that's understandable.
I agree. I don't understand why. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna. I actually don't own a house. Mel owns the house. I'm a tenant. Because I was
the same way. I'm a tenant.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not. She was like, I want this one. I was like, go ahead and buy it.
All right,
essentially, yeah. And then she was like, when can we share the houses? I'm like, in like 8 months.
When we get married.
No, we were already married, but they didn't have the tenant feature yet. So I was like, yeah, in like 8 months I'll be able to do. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she made me a tenant. I was like, well, I'm never gonna edit the house, so I'm just a tenant. So I have an extra teleport, essentially. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, aquariums. I always laugh when they put aquariums, like shit like aquariums, in trailers. Because that's like the one thing that's just like, people are going to go like, really? You put Alexander.
Look, I guarantee you that there was going to be like a good number of people who got more excited about the aquariums than they did about anything else.
Do you know how many people got excited when they announced that they were going to be doing 10 big fish a patch? They were like, yes! Yeah! And I'm like, what?
Meh.
I mean,
why is that so
I have a
exciting?
fisher, and I'm like, meh. Yeah. Meh.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
It is kind of weird though, the dissonance between that and like the main story and all these awesome new fights. It's like fish. It just feels weird. It's like I can't help but feel like maybe they should have like separate trailers for things like that, and like just keep the I don't know.
So like a minute trailer for aquariums?
Yeah, fine. A minute
It
trailer.
wasn't a minute. It was like 28 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't mean just aquariums. I mean like all that kind of stuff that they're introducing. They should have like a slower pace.
Quality of life stuff.
Yeah.
You think they should do separate trailers for quality of life stuff, and then like the meat of the trailer would be actual content and stuff?
I don't know. I feel like the purpose of the trailer primarily is to hype people for the patch, right?
And people are like,
each piece individually hype a certain crowd.
Yeah,
there were people hype about aquariums, and then there are people hype about.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I'm just saying that, like, I'm watching the show, I'm getting hyped and getting hyped and getting hyped, and then they start talking about hairstyles, and I just lose a little bit of chub.
Oh no! I mean, when I saw that king and queen hairstyle, I kind of had.
Yeah, you fucking would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. How you doing? Yeah, exactly.
Are you gonna switch to the king hairstyle? The filthy mullet? You're gonna have a filthy mullet, Sly?
No. I'm not gonna have.
he's gonna need a lot more hair if he's gonna need a
Question for the chat: Who wants to see Sly grow a filthy blonde mullet?
A blonde mullet? You didn't mention that a second ago.
King was blonde.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people were like, "Is that Nyx's hairstyle?" Because Kingslave is obviously, and they kind of do share a similar hairstyle.
Yeah,
so it's a
true.
funny thing to assume. And other people just called it a filthy mullet because they didn't know about Type 0, essentially. Oh man, I just
Look,
can't wait to see all the fish. And I know it was even funnier. The people who were then excited about aquariums, you then have the equal amount of people who were like, "What the fuck about sky fishing? Huh? Where's my sky aquarium?"
Yeah, where's my sky? I wonder how they would do that.
They said they're looking into
It would just be an empty fucking aquarium.
It's just
You
a
know what
box.
they're probably thinking? You know what they're probably thinking?
Glass box.
They're probably thinking, why the fuck did we bother to like work out the water and render all that shit when we could have just made an empty aquarium and put skyfish in it?
You know what they should do? They should allow you to fill the aquarium with a certain amount of water, and if you fill it like halfway, you can put the skyfish at the top, and they fly around, as opposed to
Or they can
swimming
poop
around.
in the water on the...
Yeah, they can shit in the water, and the other fish can be like, "Oh, it's feeding time," and then they're done.
Oh, God. God damn it.
I can't wait for them to be like, "We're adding a filter system. We're adding a heater for your fish." Like, what the? I'm not
pH
trying to,
meter
this
and all
isn't a-
that shit.
This isn't a real fish. This isn't a
Yeah.
real fish. It's just It's,
we should be able to like breed fish and level up their stats and take them into Dominion.
It should be able
I
to
love
eat
the people
other...
who want to. That's not the first time I've seen Lux say that, where it's like, I want to put a leash around my skyfish and walk it.
Dude, that would be amazing.
Just be like, I'm walking my fish. Oh shit, it flew away. I
I'd
don't
be
know
all
what to
about
do.
that. Oh, and so many people want you to grow a mullet, Sly. I think you'd better get started.
Yeah, I think so too.
You're well on your way.
Yeah, well on his way. As I do my fucking shave my beard, looking at the top of his head.
Actually, I could probably do that. I could probably do that hair at the moment if I just shave like the sides of my sides of my head.
Sides, and then,
Slick
yeah.
back a little
Yeah,
bit.
shave
Yeah.
the sides.
Yeah.
Most of it going. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then we
about
had
that?
new hairstyles, new recipes. That's what you guys are talking about right now, the new hairstyles, and then the new recipes. There was some really weird drama about the Native American outfit that I didn't even really follow all that well. It's just like they want it. I think it looks badass. I'm like,
I got so much of that. I only realized like after I made my my trailer breakdown that was going on because I got all of that projected onto me when I said basically that I thought it looked silly.
I think it looks badass, man.
Am I allowed to say what people called me?
Yeah, why not?
So I got called a stupid faggot. I got called a raging cunt, and I got called a big liberal pussy.
It's going on to LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen. Going on to LinkedIn.
For feeling like the male Native American gear looks kind of silly. And to be fair, I mean, it kind of does look like something you'd go to like a costume store and buy for like $2 in like a plastic thing that says like Redskin on it. But I mean, like, it just looks silly. I don't want to get involved in any political drama, but, you know, yesterday I learned that I'm a big liberal pussy. And to be fair, I mean, it's true. I am a big, veiny liberal pussy.
Yeah, there you go. You want to know? Honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw it was like, that looks really badass, right? I never thought about ever adding it to the game. That looks really cool. My second thought was, that's really fucked up. They put it on Godbert though, because he owns a casino essentially. So I was like, that's pretty fucked up. But I mean, it looks cool on him, so he can rock it.
I just think it looks silly.
It's video game clothes. Chat said it best. It's video game clothes.
Yeah.
That's like complaining that's like being worried that like Tifa is gonna be too revealing in the remake or some shit. It's like, I don't care.
So?
Yeah.
Sly suddenly worried that they might not because of political correctness.
Yeah.
It's a Tifa.
Yeah, essentially.
Hey, no. Leave Tifa's titties alone.
Yeah, of course.
I just think it looks silly, all right? I just want to clarify. I just think it looks silly. I have no agenda. That's it.
I'd hope not. Otherwise, FanFest's gonna get really. Now you're gonna die at FanFest, though. Like that's now you'll get killed in Vegas after that. There you go. Yeah. So moving on from that conversation. Let's see. Let me pull up the list. It's weird how in the notes I actually listed everything from the trailer in order, and then I was like, yeah, new hairstyles, new recipes, dungeons, which I think Ethys is both happy and upset about this next one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of kicking me while I'm down that one.
Well, okay, let's talk about the first dungeon they sold, Zelphatol.
I'm so excited.
Would you like to explain to the chat, in case people saw Zelphatol, they have a rough idea of what it is, would you like to explain more in detail what Zelphatol actually is, Ethys?
Right. So presumably after the fall of Alec, we know that these Ixalion ended up becoming the Ixali, right? So they came down into the Twelves Wood, and eventually the elementals were like, "Nah, you guys suck." So they were banished to Zelphatol, which is this sort of it's in a Blathia's spine. It's very sort of canyony and mountainous. And that was where they started worshipping Garuda, and they lost their wings, and that's been their home for sort of thousands and thousands of years. So the Ixali that we see in the Twelves Wood and in Coerthas are very, very, very small and probably pretty like weak and minor sort of fringe.
And that's what I meant to ask. What the difference was between the Ixali that we see on a normal basis in the ones in Coerthas, and then these were just fucking jacked up.
And then Zelphatol, yeah.
Well, it's like the difference between, you know, the kobolds that
That's
we
what
have
I was thinking, yeah.
and the ones that are actually like down in the center of Ogomoro. Some of which we actually saw in Pharisirius. What was the order that we saw in Pharisirius?
I don't remember, dude. I'm never gonna remember.
It was like 20th or anyway. It was
a high ranking. It was a high ranking order. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a higher ranking order. So yeah, they're pretty intense, Ixali, and we're going right into the heart of their basically their city. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and Zelphatol is pretty much land uninhabitable, but it takes up a pretty large portion of the world map. If you were to
it
look
takes
at
up
it.
quite a large portion of the world map.
To the north of the Black Shroud, if I'm not mistaken.
It's pretty, having this instanced is pretty similar to the Yafam Saltmore. And I got mixed feelings about this. On one hand, like, we want to be able to explore these regions as like open zones. But at the same time, the more of these like central Eorzean regions we explore as dungeons and raids, instant content, the sooner we'll be able to like push beyond the borders of Eorzea and see some of the rest of the world. So I think that all in all, I'm pretty happy that we're filling these things in, because it means that we get to see, like I say, we get to see new things. We'll get to see new islands. We'll get to explore up north and stuff like that ever sooner. The more content like this we see.
And the big thing about Zelphatol is it is part of the main story. We pretty much figured that was going to be the case. And we'll talk about the main scenario aspects. But Sly, how do you think we're going to tie Zelphatol into the mains? Like, why do we have to go beat up the Ixals in their homeland? It says that it's because they want to summon Garuda, and we got to stop it. But
yeah, that's one thing. When we looked at the trailer, we saw all the other primals. My thing is, why is Zelphatol the only one, or the major one, the major area that we're going into in terms of the beast drops? When you see all these other primals,
you see Titan turning on the kobolds.
Yeah, you see Leviathan, and why only Zelphatol? Why? I mean, I'm down for.
But why is Zelphatol the only one we get the treatment for, essentially?
Yeah, that's
why
why
do we not get to go deeper into Ogomoro?
I think I probably answer that. So we've already been to the heart of Ogomoro. It's where we fight Titan. We can teleport straight there. Like, we're part of that Ethernet. We can go straight there. It seems that what we're doing, we were speculating a little while ago that Zelphatol, we might be trying to find like a corridor into Girabanyo.
Yeah.
It seems like we're actually chasing after the primals and chasing after the Warriors of Darkness more specifically. But the way I would explain it is that, the Bowl of Embers is in the heart of Pagalthan. We can already get there. We can teleport there. We've got the Ethernet. Same thing with Ogomoro. We've never actually been into Zelphatol, so if we want to get into the heart of their territory, we actually have to physically go there.
Yeah, the Howling Eye is only the Korthan Ixals, essentially.
Yeah.
Summoning.
Yeah. So
do you think there might be some sort of link, like, to these issues with the Warriors of Darkness? Or are they just crossing primals off their list because they pretty much soloed? He pretty much soloed Rabana. So are they crossing primals off their list? What do you think is going on?
Well, they've got to have a reason to. We're told a lot, like the Ascians. Basically, our defeating of the primals is part of the Ascian plan. We already know that. There's just nothing we can really do about it. Is that we defeat primals, so you know, they have to summon more powerful ones, and we defeat them, they summon more powerful one, and basically we escalate every single time. So we're using more ether, we're causing more fallout, we're doing more damage to Highland. So I want to say, like, intuitively, I want to say, like, the Warriors of Darkness are kind of doing the same job as we're doing. They're just trying to, like, escalate it faster and sort of keep the stakes up. But it seems like they might be doing something else. It seems like they might be even, like, trying to absorb,
Soul surrender.
These primals. Yeah, soul surrender. They might be trying to absorb the essence of these primals. They might be trying to get crystals of light and or darkness from each of these primals.
Crystals of
Yeah,
light
that's one theory that I have a little weight in, because like going back to our story in 2.0, didn't every time we beat a primal, we got a crystal.
Yeah, we got a crystal.
And then you see the Warrior of Light, the Warrior of Darkness, excuse me, holding a crystal in the end.
Yeah, so the same way that we've got the blessing of light in having each of those elementally aspected crystals, it could be that they're trying to attain the blessing of darkness. Or maybe they're trying to attain the blessing of light, you know?
And the thing, and what's even more interesting is they don't come off as villains necessarily in the trailer, other than that they oppose you. They try to present themselves as the opposite side of the same coin, trying to accomplish.
But that's true.
I mean,
that's true of every villain in the game.
But I mean, their convictions actually match our convictions, but they have a different perspective. Like, it's hard to describe the way I want to do it. They're us essentially.
You're saying you're saying they have the same goal as we do, but they're trying to get about it in a different way.
Yeah, I have a feeling by the time the Warriors of Darkness are all said and done, and this is going back to Final Fantasy III, we're going to find out we have a lot more in common with them than we initially thought. Warriors of Darkness become your allies in Final Fantasy III is one thing worth remembering at some point. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility that the Warriors of Darkness themselves determine that we are not really their enemy in the end, even though the Ascians have sort of bred them to believe that. But we still don't even know how they went from being Warriors of Light to being Warriors of Darkness in the first. There's one thing. They were once Warriors of Light. It's implied that they were, at least at some point, Warriors of Light.
They were fighting an Ascian. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's worth thinking that in the end, we're going to find out we actually want the same thing, but the Ascians are telling them it has to be done a different way and that we are essentially opposing them in some way, shape, or form. It's a bit far-fetched, but I have a feeling that they are going to, at some point, not be our enemies.
Well, it depends what they want. I mean, if they want, like, you know, peace, then, you know, we've got the same sort of conflict with them as we have with the Imperials, is that, like, we both want the same thing, but we're going about it in different ways. So they might think that the only way to achieve peace and harmony is through the rejoining, is through, you know, the Ascian way. Because they would have found when they were Warriors of the Light that, like, everything that they did, like everything that we do, you know, we kill Ascians, we kill primals, there's still more problems and more problems and more problems, and it just keeps escalating. So they could have come to the point, as it seems Urianger may or may not have, of realizing more pragmatically that they need to bring about the rejoining. They need to sort of blend light and dark back together, and they're convinced that that's the way to do it. And it could be that in the same way, you know, in fighting Gaius, he realizes that, hey, we're actually doing our way, you know, consistently and better than what he was trying to do. I suppose it's possible that the Warriors of Darkness could come to some understanding with us and conceding that, you know, we have the, you know, the more righteous cause.
Especially when you see that the Warriors of Darkness, they, if you look at their interactions with the Vath, for example, or the Vath, the Vath is the peaceful ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't go on a rampant killing spree of the Vath necessarily. The Vath go, hey, we have a problem. They go, yeah, we'll go take care of it. Essentially, it's part of their goal, but they didn't. In that instance, they didn't resort to violence. Whereas it almost looks like
it's one of their fetch quests.
But the thing is, in the trailer, with the primals going nuts, it's hard to determine so far whether or not the Warriors of Darkness are the cause of them turning on the races that summon them, or if the Ascians are using that as an instrument to motivate the Warriors of Darkness to go after them, essentially.
Yeah, I think the Ascians, when they seem to be motivating people to like move towards the rejoining, is that they're giving this promise of, like, balance and the light and dark being in sort of perfect equilibrium. What those people don't realize is that bringing it into balance is giving Zodiac power, and Zodiac sort of has this desire to destroy Hydaelyn, and that they can't actually coexist.
So diving into that then, how do you like the way this story arc is starting after the way that Heaven's Ward left off?
Oh, I got a smoke alarm going off. Let me.
Yeah, I heard that going. What about you, Sly? Do you like the way this is starting off versus the way that compared to the way Heaven's Ward technically ended with the Dragon Song War?
I mean, I like the way it's starting off. It's not that it's too sudden. It's just one thing leading to another thing, and
like we literally just wrapped this thing up, and then all of a sudden it's like,
we
holy
literally
shit.
just wrapped up the Dragon Song War. This has kind of been on the back burner the entire time, and it's kind of coming to fruition now. I can see it more. I don't see this as something ending with the coming of 4.0. I see this something being a major
which is expected, considering this is leading us into the expansion. It's not like the Warriors of Darkness will be gone prior to 4.0, essentially. Right. Alrighty then. Where are you gonna say?
Yeah, so I think in the end it's gonna come to a head. I think at least maybe 4.1, 4.2. Yeah, I might be getting ahead of myself.
I think the conflict with the Warrior of Darkness will end in potentially 4.0 or 4.1, whereas the conflict with Alamigo will continue past that. I think whatever's going on with Alamigo will be over by 4.3. I feel like it's safe to assume that ahead of time.
Yeah, it's just one thing leading into another. I don't like the idea of arcing, so to speak, because this, like, it feels overshadowed. It felt overshadowed within Dragon Song War, rightfully so. There's bigger shit to worry about. This
really,
I kind of don't feel the urgency. I really don't. I don't see the urgency there.
What about the so the title Soul Surrender is clearly an important one, and when you look at the animation for Soul Surrender, you see the Warriors of Darkness all merge into a single essential piece of ether that then spells out the patch title. It could be implied they are all technically of one mind in a sense there. But what's more important is they look to be trying to take the soul of the Warrior of Light, if you watch very closely in the trailer itself. They home gang the Warrior of Light, and the Warrior of Light starts to be sort of shed of his light. And then it looks like they go to execute him, and Alphino and Thancred step in to make sure nothing happens.
Although one of the Ascians does a pretty similar thing in 3.0 when they're taking the key off us, the key of Azazla.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think it's definitely possible that they're trying to take something from us. I mean, they definitely want something from us.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. So anyway, we delved into that because we were talking about the lore of Zelphatol. So let's get back to Zelphatol.
Okay.
Bird tits.
Garuda is indeed making a return, though not as the final boss, which I was.
I don't care, bird tits.
The final boss, though, for a second I thought he was an Emulja. Like I legitimately thought.
He is
swole.
That's the most jacked fucking Ixal I've ever seen. Ever.
Is this like the king of the Ixal, or is this a like just reigning officer of Zelphatol or something?
Or
like that?
He's a priest, obviously. He's some kind of high priest.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have a king, but yeah, he's a high priest, and like he's channeling Garuda. It's crazy.
He literally just summoned like on his own. She's really weak, but
I don't think he's so much summoning him as like channeling her as like an attack, right? In the same way that Ultimate Weapon does.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It makes me think, personally speaking, in regards to Ysayle.
Yeah.
Same issue. It's a matter of belief.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, we've already, quote-unquote, dealt with Garuda. And then Garuda got handled by Ultimate Weapon.
Well, so long as they got crystals and so long as they've got prayers, you know.
And believe, yeah, like anything's possible.
Yeah.
And he is the high priest. I was more impressed that they have the second boss as a Bancho fan. A Garuda Bancho fan, essentially. And he uses it exactly like one.
Well, it's the Garuda axe, isn't it?
Although he uses it as a fan.
Yeah.
It's the top of the Garuda axe, like, elongated into a giant fan, essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sly just wants legs back.
No, I don't. Well, yes, I do.
You want Tiamat free, and you want legs back. And you want Garuda's rack on your mantle.
But really, it's the same thing. When you talk about belief in primals, you're talking about a person who really believed that she was Shiva, yet the real Shiva, died a really long time ago.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you don't even need to believe in the primal to be able to channel it. I mean, we channel Bahamut just because other people do, and his essence is hanging around. But what we do know is that there's and we've been told so many times, is that primals are not quite what we think they are, and there's a lot of different ways of using their power and channeling their power. Of course, we've seen that with Aegis, we've seen that with trances, we've seen that with proper primal summonings, we've seen that with people summoning primals into themselves, and it seems like this is just another way to be using a primal's ether.
So what you're saying is the Ixal got the Garuda Eggy Glamour before we did.
It might be more like a Garuda trance thing, but yeah, I mean, yeah, something like that.
Speaking of which, was not mentioned at all so far. The glamour, Eggy Glamour.
No, but we did see that Carbuncle.
Obsidian Carbuncle. Everyone's like, that's the teaser. Everyone's like, Obsidian Carbuncle's the teaser. That's it. That's why they zoomed in on him too. They're like, it's coming. We're not gonna say it, but it's here. Maybe. The other dungeon was the Great Cabal Library Hard Mode, which, to be fair, the Zelphatol, you could have fooled me in telling me that's a dungeon because they made it quite. They made it feel quite expansive, kind of like when you're in the Yafim Saltmoor, in a sense. Like you have a linear path, but the way in which it's presented to you makes it feel not as linear. Whereas Great Cabal looks to be pretty much your standard. I already feel like I'll probably like Cabal less just looking at the layout of the dungeon they presented to us.
Looks kind of boring. The fights
really coming from you.
Look, the fights look good, but in terms of every hard mode we get like a quite different aesthetic, whereas this looks very similar to the original.
Okay.
Other than us being in the aisles below.
Yeah, we're in different sections. Yeah,
which is always how it is, but specifically with a library, that can only go so far.
Yeah, it is very samey.
That's like, basically, we went down the fantasy section, now we're going down the science fiction section of the library.
You realize that in most libraries, fantasy and science fiction are like right next to each other.
Yeah,
right next to
exactly.
each other.
We are just over like one aisle.
In the same.
No, they're on the same aisle.
No, not always.
Yes.
They're near each other.
Yes.
Oh, when was the last time you were in a library, Mike?
Like 17 years?
Holy shit!
No, that's not true. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! In the libraries when I was in high school.
That's the only reason why you went to a fucking library to play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey man, everyone did it.
Yeah.
That was a cool place to be. If you weren't at the fucking library playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you were lame. I also literally lived a block and a half from a library.
Wait. If you weren't in the library playing Yu-Gi-Oh,
you were fucking lame.
Then you were lame.
Yeah.
Not actually using the library for its intended use.
No, who the fuck does that? You go to the library to rent video games, listen to audio novels, and play Yu-Gi-Oh. That's what you go there for, and to get Goosebumps books. That's it.
Goosebumps books. This is what you were doing 17 years ago.
Yeah, well, more like 10, but whatever.
more like last week.
More like last week. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, manga. That's another one you could do. There you go. Mine didn't have video games growing up, though. I didn't have one of the cool libraries with the video game rentals in it. The one the town over did, though. Essentially, yeah, you go to the library to play you borrow their internet and play Hearthstone.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Free Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah.
Done.
Sweet.
Demon Book has more books. He's like, oh, I'm out of a book, so here's more books.
Yeah, we actually get to see the demon book out of the book, and he's fat as fuck.
Yeah, he's got.
You guys know that it is still all the same book.
Yeah, it's
It's
still
the same
all
page.
the
It's
books
the
are.
same texture. It's
Maybe
the Tedalotus Ilkeos or whatever the fuck it says. It's like, come on, guys.
well,
One
apparently
page.
some of those books do different things though, because like there's a lot of books. They were like, yo, who's that guy who was complaining about not enough books? Put all the books in the fights. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what he wants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, he'll be stoked with that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Living Flame from Final Fantasy V is here to trigger your A3 Savage PTSD.
Sweet.
Yeah, and he's got medallions for some reason. Puts medallion, and then my favorite thing about the trailer is the fucking monk who's like, "I'm running away from the boss. I'm gonna elixir drive."
Is he following me?
He's like running away, and he just hits elixir drive for no fucking reason. Oh man. And then we have an owl in a chair, Alphys.
Alphys.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope that doesn't.
I don't know who the fuck that is. Like, some people are referring to like mythology and shit to tell me who that is, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know who that is. Some of these people are like, it's a Stolas, and I'm like, no, that's a hunt. I'm pretty sure. It's an A rank.
true.
That's an
That's
A rank in
true.
the hinterlands.
Yeah, Stolas is an A rank, so it couldn't be. Well, I mean, it could be if it's in the hinterlands. Could be, you could explain it that no, Stolas was just like out for a walk.
No, he's just a different type of owl.
No, he's
Stolas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible.
And he summons a behemoth out of a book.
Which
like-
is like I don't know. Behemoths are not void set. I don't know what's going on there.
They just believed in behemoths. That's it. They're like, all right, write about a behemoth, and now here you go. By the way, I want to know who was capable of reading that giant book and why it's in the library. Like, who's like, yo, let's write a book that's like 20 feet long.
Dude, right. So when the Allergans started injecting themselves with the Sephiroth growth hormones, right? The Allergan summoners are picking up their little books and they're being like,
They're like, let me make the book bigger.
we need bigger books.
They injected books with Sephiroth cells.
Yeah. Just got that book and they're just like, the book's like.
Strangely, I feel like watching Ant-Man now.
Actually, that could explain why Behemoth is in it as well, because all that we know of Behemoth's origins is that it seems to be connected to Bahamut some way. I might be where was it? It was in some text description somewhere. They're saying like they're thought to be the progeny of Bahamut. So that makes me think that maybe they are also like Allergan creations that have used Bahamut's stuff in the same way that they were using, Sephiroth's
His stuff.
goo. Yeah, they made goo. Yeah. Well, they were using Sephiroth goo and just like injecting themselves and each other with it. And that was
just
cool.
roids. That's all it is. It's fucking.
Yeah, exactly. So it could well be that this is an Allergan tome that they've shoved a behemoth in.
And now it's going to meteor us in the face.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'd be into that.
Okay, so some other features, dueling is shown, and once again, they just show people dueling by just manning up and just 1v1, no positionals. I don't know why they insist on showing dueling like this every PvP.
Because that's not realistic fucking dueling.
Yeah, why don't they actually like play a real PvP match and then like?
But you mean where Foxconn just runs away and just gets murked?
Yeah, like Foxconn versus Yoshi P, where he's just like, I'm a white mage.
That was like, if that was like to show off dueling, that was like a sad showing. I'm sorry.
They were like, just show what happens when he loses.
Yeah.
Well, come on. To be fair, Mike, I'm sure that when you've been like demonstrating a rotation for a class or something like that, you've just done it from one angle, just to get the shot.
Fucking do my positionals at the very least.
Yeah, at least.
You've never just stood like on the side of a striking dummy just doing a rotation to show.
No, you do positionals.
Kind of
Come on, Ethys, you know about this. Come on.
Is that?
Of course, I know about positionals. I'm just saying for like demonstrative purposes. You know, you're trying to show something.
You understand that if I made a video of me standing in front of a striking dummy doing like a dragoon rotation, people would just shit all over the video. You understand that, right?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you can't get away with much, can you?
No. So
but still, like neither can Yoshida, and he still does it. He doesn't give a fuck.
Listen, he almost soloed Sophia, all right?
He's using that like Blizz 3 opener. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh man. What was the thing? So the funny thing about dueling, I don't know if you noticed in the trailer, they're showing like 5 1v1 matches, and then it looks like there's like a level 20 gladiator just running by like, what the
It's the fucking Royal Rumble, man. I'm trying to tell you, this shit is like a fucking Royal Rumble. If they could do that, if they could actually make that for a future patch where it's actually like an instance.
Dude, I'm never doing that. You know what that results in? Get him. He's Mr. Happy.
He's Mr. Happy.
Get him.
Could you imagine if we got open world PvP?
Yeah.
Could you imagine how fucked the three of us would get? Jesus.
No, I really don't want. I literally, like, I imagine me like, oh, wow, I'm enjoying fishing off this ledge. Hey, why are there 20 people running at me from the left?
Just running at me screaming. Why are they kiting an S rank over here?
Oh, that would just not end well in any way, shape, or form. I would like to say I do think that the new PvP arena, I think I feel like it is this. Like, we were discussing whether or not it was a new feast arena or it was this arena for dueling when they mentioned it. I think it's the dueling arena at this point.
Yeah, it's just a new pontoon.
Yeah, so no new feast arena. Sad face. Can we just get the fucking dueling arena as an instance in the... Like, just take shit that already exists and make it a PvP arena. Stop. Just all of it. You have the technology.
Just put us in Halatali.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
it. You used it for like 4 other fights so far. Just
like how many individual arenas are there in Halatali? Yeah,
you have Dragon's Neck, you have Hydra, you have Halatali, Halatali hard mode, and the instance with Alphino and
no, I'm talking about within Halatali.
Oh, I don't know. God, like fucking 7 or 8 of them. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I reckon Halatali be like really well laid out for PvP actually.
Mm-hmm.
So then they show Hildebrand as a dragoon. This surprised people more than it surprised me. If that's weird. First of all, you can see Nashu hiding in the back, like behind the bushes. She's just like... But the thing is, people don't remember how Hildebrand launched himself to Dalamud and the whole thing he had with Gilgamesh where they were fighting over the Lance of Lances, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dragoon at heart.
Well, he's obviously
an
posing as a temple knight or something there.
Yeah.
You see one of the Inquisitors as I captured Gugu, and I just imagine he's like rocking up and being like, oh yes, I'm so Hildio, and I'm here to take that because...
Great cereal, in case you've never had it before.
Hildio?
Hildio's. With GG marshmallows.
Yeah, anyway, that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a mess. He's a fucking mess.
Well, we know that there's individuals posing as Temple Knights.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of his investigation.
Ooh.
You know what else I love? That Hildebrand, he gets that like little 10-second snippet. They don't even bother talking about the Scholasticate in the fucking trailer. Like, who cares? It's not Hildebrand. I can't show Briardian doing the fucking Hildebrand flex, so let's not put it in the trailer.
Because he's not going to ever.
He will. One day he will. One day he'll have to.
One day he'll be like...
I reckon one day he'll have to do it like in order to save his life. And it'll be the most painful.
And then you'll see Hildebrand like...
Yeah.
That's that fucking smile that nobody can actually do. That's where all the technology went, was into controlling Hildebrand's facial features. That's why we don't have a PBE. That's why we don't have a PBE. It's because of that technology right there. And then they show squadrons. The first piece of squadron content, which everyone is calling garrisons, Meanwhile, I'm calling it Final Fantasy Tactics Quest.
I'm excited for
Final
it.
Fantasy Tactics did this like before World of Warcraft did. It's the same exact function. Literally, it's the same thing. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll be able to do content with them eventually, apparently, just like we'll eventually get chocobos and dungeons. You know?
Eventually.
I think that this is going to be more immediate than that. I think this is.
Oh, you think?
setting. Yeah, I think this is setting up for 4.0.
I think so too. Somehow, I just want to say, Gerson's did not do well in Warlords of Draenor, so I hope it's not like a focus of the expansion.
No.
Okay, good, because we even get our own little zone to watch them train and shit.
I think it's cool. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to check it out. It looks like fun.
I mean, when it launches, it's literally retainer ventures that you have to do your challenge log to unlock.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We get our new ranks, don't we?
Yeah, fantastic. What are we gonna do with it?
That's a good question.
What are we gonna do with the new Rare Company ranks? Like, why are we getting a new rank? Like, why now? They said they would have something useful for us to do with it when they finally did it. One new rank, not even like a bunch of them. One singular.
I mean, I could add like level 60 shit to it, like armor-wise and weapon-wise, that you eventually would use for glamour. And in terms of materials, I don't know. But really, there's really no real reason to add it.
Glamour. You got to remember, Sly. We're talking to a dude who's colorblind here.
I'm just saying, they said they could have added a rank with a new armor whenever the fuck they wanted. What aggravates me is if they literally only held it back
of all times.
I think it's a story. No, I think it's story reasons. I think we're having to escalate things with the Eorzean Alliance in preparation to push into Alamigo and like take the fight to the Empire. And I think that our Grand Company leaders are like, you know what, we have this resource. You know, we've got the Warrior of Light in our foreign levy, and why are we not using him? So they're like, you know what, we're going to promote you. We're going to let you recruit some adventurers. You're going to create your own like X-Men or whatever, and that's going to be the.
If I can name my squadron the X-Men, I'd probably do it.
Right. Well, that's. I think that's the kind of thing that's happening.
All right. I'm just saying, if all we get this patch is literally new glamour, I'm just going to be upset that they didn't.
Would you go bald
sooner.
for it?
No, I mean I would up my rank, but I probably wouldn't glamour. I'm not upset that it would just like, oh, they're only adding glamour. I'm upset that if they were only going to add glamour, that they waited this long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, that I understand that the Dragonsong War's over and we're moving into Alamigan territory, and we probably need to up the Eorzean Alliance. Plus, Ishgard has joined it, like all that shit. But if it was just going to be glamour, like they could have just used that same excuse to get us to the rank, another rank, and then I've increased the rank again earlier. You know. I'm just saying, I've been a second lieutenant for too fucking long.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And then, I don't know how I feel about Platoon Hall. I feel like that's more effort than we needed. Like,
it's a nice touch.
I think it's cool.
I'm like, what? Is there, is there a market board? No. Is there a retainer fucking bell? No.
It's one room of the Platoon Hall.
I'm never going there. I'm never going there.
We only saw what, one room of the Platoon Hall?
That is all that it is. Everyone gets their own room.
That's it.
And they could have used that to make more apartments.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's going to be important in future, having your own little instance. You'll be sending dudes off on quests. You'll be interacting.
Might as well have just made my Platoon Hall my apartment, so I didn't even have to fucking buy it.
Like, well, maybe you can. Maybe we'll be able to put a Platoon.
Probably not.
Let's see how.
Nope. They're not going to let me decorate my fucking Platoon Hall. That's never going to fucking happen. Oh, man. Speaking of halls, Palace of the Dead. We got to see the preview of that. Now, just to remind everyone, that's not for another 6 weeks. It's 5 weeks after the patch comes out will be the next Palace of the Dead. At least if they do the same patch schedule. 5 weeks after the major patch is the 0.5 patch. Floors 51 to 200. 51 to 100 is the end of the story. 101 to 200 is very challenging. And if you can solo it, you are godlike. I'm just quoting him. at this point. Naoki Yoshida. So I'm gonna solo 200 floors. I'm gonna fucking do it. But how do we feel about what we saw at Palace of the Dead? Sly, I'll take you first because Ethys won't shut up once I ask him about this one in particular.
Like all the aesthetics and
like, what did you think of what you saw? Because I mean, like you saw their first of all, their ether pool arms.
Ether pool arms are red,
but, and I'm gonna rewatch it just to double check if I'm not mistaken. Before they open the silver chest, it's the equivalent of what it shows at plus 30. And when they open the silver chest, it becomes red, implying that it is not...
That you would need a plus 30 weapon.
That you would already need a plus 30 weapon, and it would be further enhanced.
How y'all feeling about breaking those weapons now, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm going to watch it again real quick. Yes, so they start with their regular ether pool arms. It shows that. And then then they open a silver chest, and they transform.
Sly, why don't you break your 30-30 weapon? You get a Pajali weapon. What about that, Sly? I mean, yeah, 5-6 weeks, sure.
Or how about when you beat floor 50, you get a free plus 30 weapon?
That could happen. That could absolutely happen. You beat floor 50, they set you up with a plus 30 weapon automatically. Yeah. That makes sense for them to nerf old content and make it more accessible, so you don't need to grind it. It follows the exact Square Enix line of thinking. And then it sets you up to start the next set of floors. It makes perfect sense, and I think that's the most likely thing.
Sure.
So we have that, but they also showed off new commanders, new enemies. They showed off new types of traps in the trailer, which was interesting. But it still looks like Palace of the Dead. I don't think there's ever a debate that it's going to play exactly. I still think it's more about how it plays, though. Like if it plays exactly the same is what I'm thinking.
But the main thing, and I'll throw this to both of you at the end. Who is that we see at the end?
So there's a lot of,
because I'm thinking one thing, but I just want
to. There's a lot of debate. Ethys, who do you think that is at the end, based on what you've heard?
It's either Scarmiglione or Nibeth from
that's my guess.
Yeah, the music playing in Palace of the Dead here is a Tactics Ogre theme remixed essentially.
Yeah,
and Palace of the Dead is from Tactics Ogre. So.
Well, it's one of the two. They'll both be fulfilling the same role. So honestly, I don't think it's really that important which it is.
Then what about the story here? Like, when we went into 1 through 50, we got to learn about Palace of the Dead. Now 51 through 100, we're concluding our story here.
Yeah.
How strong do we feel the storytelling is going to be here? Because we discussed if we wanted to stay kind of more Souls-like, where it's implied.
I think it's going to stay much the same. I think it's going to be about insinuation, but I still believe that this is an Ascian thing.
What about you, Sly?
Yeah, the story's not going to be strong at all. Going back to what I said like a few weeks ago, I would much rather have a little light story and then the rest of it be actual challenge. No story needed for that. You just do it just for the shit of it. No real reason why you're in there. You just want to be the very best.
No one ever was.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. I saw it coming.
Yeah. So I'm actually okay. I'll pay attention to the story for more reasons. Just see what goes on after that. Like, I just want to sell it to 200.
Sly, have you sold to 50 yet?
No, I have a 33 weapon. I've been leveling shit, man.
That's no excuse.
What the fuck?
It takes you about an hour to solo each set of floors. You have no excuse.
Oh, wait. First one, mimic. Second one, mimic. Third one, mimic. And then actually get to the boss and forget to lust. Yeah.
All I'm hearing is I couldn't do it. That's all I'm hearing right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Once I get my machinist to 60 after my award tour in Great Google Library, I'll go solo. How about that?
Okay.
It'll happen tonight.
All right. I'll hold you to it. There you go. Let's see. So, with that out of the way, Palace of the Dead 3.45 alongside of the new season, along with the new animal weapons, all that shit. Immediately, I'm watching it now. I love whenever when they're doing the trailers. Another thing I love is when like a chest appears. They're just like, they stop and they're like, It's like nobody does that shit. Open the fucking chest. I'm trying to get my levels here.
Yeah, you just go get the chest and then. All right, let's go to the next floor.
Yeah, what is this fucking Legend of Zelda?
Quick question: Do you think you'll be able to do this like similar to the first set of Palace of the Dead, where you can go in at any level, or do you think you'll need to be like an actual high level to do this automatically?
I wouldn't say high level, but higher than what's required.
Do you think that basically what I'm asking is, do you think it'll start you through the whole level 1 to 60 thing again? Will it leave you at 60 the whole time?
God, it better not.
Will you be able to go in as a level 17 again, for example, as long as you've beaten 1 to 50? Like all that. Yeah. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think it'll fall on 1 to 50.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And you don't think you'll have to level?
Well, the thing is, having the plus 30 weapon seems to imply that it's just carrying on, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, as much as I spam 1 through 10, I have a 30-30 weapon. I mean, I still gotta do it again. You can like it'll keep the weapon stats, but there will be some kind of lore reason as to why you go back to.
Yeah, I'm feeling like if you completed a weapon, they'll just literally up. Like if you even need to be 30-30. I'm only saying that because you see the old ether pool arms transform. There's nothing to signify that is actually how it goes. If you've already got a completed weapon, I could see them literally just saying, we can take your weapon now and re-outfit it. Without you actually removing it, we can re-outfit it to be used in Palace of the Dead again, essentially. So you don't need to get another 30-30 weapon if you already spent it. I don't think they'll make you do that. And even if they do, beating 450, I feel,
Now, one thing we haven't really brought up is the utility of the new Palace of the Dead and how we could possibly, people could possibly use it to level. Do you think it'll have the same effect?
That's why I want to know if we need to be level 60 to queue into this one, or if we can go in as like a level 17 again. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Devil's advocate, let's say that you don't need to be a 60 to do this. Okay. Do you think it's going to be better XP than the current tier of Palace of the Dead?
I don't think they'll make it better EXP. I think it'll be to reach a more up-to-date goal. Like when you were doing Palace of the Dead 1 to 50 and you were leveling from it, you were doing it under the impression that at the end you'll have a patch relevant weapon.
I'm not doing 1 through 50. Fuck that.
I'm saying that was the mentality. You would have a patch relevant weapon if you stuck to it, even if you were using it to level.
True.
For 51 through 100, even if you are you need to be making something patch relevant. So I think that the only thing that updates is necessarily the goal at the end, but not the EXP. I don't think 51 to 60 is going to be more EXP than 41 to 50.
I don't even think it'll be patch relevant because I think it'll be treated like the current House of the Dead, where you're not even going to go past 20. You're not even going to go past 10. The only thing you're really going to do is it's the quickest way possible. If you're just so fucking lazy, just do 1 through 10. Just do 1 through 10.
Yeah, anyone who's doing hardcore leveling mostly does 1 through 10 and just resets.
1 through 10, yeah, just resets and keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with my chat that going in as a level 1 again would be awful.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
It'd be awful, but it's likely.
I think the requirement's going to be a little bit higher. I don't think it's going to be 17. I think it might be like 30 or something. And it might actually start you like at level 30. Starting at level 1 would just be ridiculous. It'd be so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reckon, in terms of working towards the goal, right, what do you think we're going to get like a level 250 weapon?
So, yeah. 250,
yeah.
255 actually.
Really?
Okay. By that point it's been about 5 weeks. We don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But the thing is, if it follows Alexander Midas and it takes 7 weeks to get a weapon, it's like, but even then it would just be, if it was 250 and then a week later you are essentially going to get your 260 weapon from.
Yeah, that'd be dumb.
It'd be dumb. Yeah. So if it's not honestly, even if it's not 255, 260 in that range. But then that's kind of disappointing for when you think about like 3.55, because when Palace of the Dead came out the first time, it was something that was like the end, like closer to the end of the tier, essentially, at 235. And this is more like just kind of almost getting your foot in the door. When Weeping City gives you the materials, Palace of the Dead weapon, all of a sudden, no one cares unless they up the item level when the patch goes forward or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious what they're going to do when it comes to Palace of the Dead reward-wise, since it falls at a much different time. And how hard 100 to 200 will actually be, because they keep touting.
Do you think there'll be a reward for 100?
You are going to be a god.
Absolutely not. I absolutely
Praise
think.
the sun.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll be able to get potsherds while you're doing it. That's
Do you
about the
think
only
there'll
thing.
be like a title or some kind of e-pin?
Yeah, probably.
Title, yes. Yeah.
King of the Dead, or something like that.
God.
Mr.
Something
Happy,
God.
King of the Dead. You know, the Gravekeeper. I don't know, something along those lines. So that's okay. So that's 3.45. After that, they show Sophia, the goddess.
Boobies!
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Sorry.
She is a
Indeed,
female.
She is a female. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually just got a Lodestone post on Sophia earlier today, kind of going over her lore. I thought it was interesting they didn't reveal her minimum item levels though, because I think we pretty much know what they're going to be already. 220 for normal mode, 235 for extreme. I'd be hard pressed to think it's anything else. It's pretty much how it's been the entire way. It's been like the normal mode of the next patch is the same minimum item level as the extreme of the last, or close to it at the very least. Like I think Thornton wasn't 205. Thornton extreme, he was like 190 or something. And
So you don't think they would have raised the item level?
No, I mean it's hard to tell because Thornton was very different in the way, like he didn't have his normal mode was like a story fight. So when they released Extreme, it was just. And by the way, Thornton I think was actually 190. It was either 190 or 195. Beating him in that item level was pretty fucking hard, to be fair, or something.
Yeah.
But then you had Sephiroth, who was 205, who was 190 and 205, and then you had Nidhogg, who was 205 and 220. So I'm feeling Sophia 220, 235, essentially for normal extreme.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
At this, would you like me to read the little story tidbit before you talk about Sophia?
Oh yeah, fine. Go ahead. Absolutely.
History tells of a Mericidian nation comprised of a multitude of races, the foundations of which were built on the worship of a single deity. The goddess, as she was simply known, graced the souls of her worshippers with perfect equilibrium, binding their disparate societies in gilded chains of harmony. In the present day, she is known better as Sophia. Why she's known better in the current day as Sophia, I'll never know. One of the incalculably powerful icons of the warring triad, and after 5,000 years of imprisonment, her failed plans for vengeance once more threatened to come to fruition. Defeat the awakened thralls and slay the stirring goddess, lest her divine balance bring all the world to ruin.
Constant thing, equilibrium and balance.
Yeah, and the names of her quest are Balance Unto All and a Deific Simulacrum. How do you say that word? Simulacrum?
Deific Simulacrum.
So, is it Simulacrum? Is that actually?
Yeah, so simulacrum is something that is like a fake copy.
Okay. Oh, so it's implying the same thing with Sephiroth, where it's just it's essentially, we can create a battle data thing for you to fight.
Oh, it's yeah. Yeah. So what the fuck was that voice, Mike? What was that?
I just make up voices whenever I fucking read.
Can you give that voice like a title? How would you describe that voice?
The
if you had to put it in like a.
I'm touching myself while reading this voice.
Okay. All right.
There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I don't want you to see that, but that's okay. I get what you're saying.
Well, you're the one doing the voice.
You can hear a voice. You don't see a voice, idiot.
Yeah. All right. Oh, idiot. So she was a goddess of a united nation of Mericidians, which were made up of several different kinds of peoples, right?
Right.
Now, the way that I'm thinking at the moment, and obviously I'll do a video on this when it's released, but a few people have pointed out, and it is absolutely the case, the ads in that fight are wearing Phlegathon's gear. Right.
Yeah.
So this can mean a few different things to me. But it seems that Phlegathon. So to be clear for those people who don't know, Phlegathon, last boss of Labyrinth of the Ancients, he was an Allagan revolutionary. He was fighting against Amon and the resurrected Zande and that whole technocratic empire. He was hero of the peoples. He was captured by the Allagans. He was experimented on with all the Sephiroth bullshit and basically neuralinked and turned into a mindless slave. So the fact that he's wearing this gear and has this connection to Sophia makes me think either that he was summoning Sophia as this symbol of the Mericidian masses subjugated by the Allegan Empire and them sort of rising up and their god sort of bringing judgment upon the Allegan sinners, or else he is wearing like old Mericidian armor as like a sign of like solidarity to the Mericidian peoples. But either way, there's a very, very strong connection here.
Or, third option,
Mm-hmm.
Zonde put him in that armor as just like an asshole. Like, he's just like, I'm going to put you in Mericidian armor. You wanted to fight against me? Here, you can fucking wear it. So everyone knows.
That's possible, but I definitely feel like, given what we know of Phlegethon, that there is some kind of solidarity between him and the Mericidians being the sort of slave caste of the Allegan Empire, sort of subjugated under their overlords. So I wouldn't be surprised if either way. Basically, what I'm saying is that Sophia seems to be like the Allegan Shiva.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be quite interesting. And I think we might even get some dialogue with her, similar to how we got with Ramu.
She does have a voice.
She does have
exactly. She has a voice actor, and I think there's got to be a reason for that. Ramu had a voice actor. Sephiroth didn't, I don't believe. So I think we're going to be having a conversation with her about the Allegans.
All Sephiroth does is give you the "who the fuck are you" face. He's like, "What the fuck is this? I just woke up. What the? All right, fuck it, let's fight. I'm down.
Yeah,
let's go.
I got morning wood. You gonna take care of this?" That's a pun because of the tree farmer.
And she has spoken dialogue specifically in the fight. The only other character I could think of that has spoken dialogue in a fight that doesn't have any spoken dialogue anywhere else is Gilgamesh. Just thinking back to other characters that could sort of mean that she's only voice acted in the fight itself, which would be I don't approve of. As funny as it was with Gilgamesh, I would have loved to have heard that voice the entire time because Gilgamesh cracks me the fuck up.
Now the one thing about let's get down to the nitty gritty of what we saw. The arena itself. It's one of the most like visually pleasing arenas I've ever seen. In terms of the actual changes that happen, and then I was talking about this a little bit before the show, but the possible mechanics of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the theme with Sophia is balance. So you see the scales, and when the scales are tipped, the arena tips itself. Meaning, we're probably going to fucking fall off. But we get to be rest after we fall off, which is
bullshit.
Which is no. I was waiting to hear what one of y'all would say. Really, why?
That's
why?
Fucking bullshit.
Why you walked?
Back in my day, if you fell off
the here we go.
You stayed off the ledge. You see, now we get to do like the ARR superiority thing. We get to talk about.
Well, this fight was designed by the same people who designed Leviathan, so those people created the technology to watch a fight after you had wiped. So they just upped it one
technology.
more. Well, because Titan, when you fell off Titan, you were just at the bottom of the fucking thing, and you're just like,
you were just looking. You weren't even looking at the fight. You weren't looking at the fight. You were just looking at yourself.
You couldn't learn anything like, I died. Let me watch what they're doing.
We now have the technology to res you off the edge. Guys.
I mean, Ozma had the technology. If you fucking fell off like an idiot.
Oh my god! Fucking state of the memes.
Yeah.
And actually, after the trailer premiered, on Reddit there was a post about JP speculation.
Yeah, there's a whole like 8-picture guide. Of, how they think the fight will go.
But what's the point of that? Let's make a guide before the fights come out.
It's speculation. It's not even a guide. It's speculation. Everybody does this. Even in our own head, we speculate. Well, what the fuck do we think we're gonna see? And
honestly, I don't for fights. Really, I'm just like, oh, that's neat, cool.
Yeah. I mean, but in my head, I had sort of a similar thought. In terms of the nuts and bolts. Like, weight. That's all it is. When you think of balance, you think of weight. Everything has a weight. So naturally, you, and then adds, and then maybe not her because she floats. She's buoyant. everything has a weight, so you have to balance it out, even the ass. That's one that's hard.
And to be fair, even before that JP image came out, a lot of people were saying that. As soon as people saw the scales and they saw the arena tilted, like within minutes, people were saying that there's a JP image within 24 hours, essentially. Yeah. That sort of detailed, like, oh, you're going to need 4 people on this side, 4 people on the other side, or the arena tilts and people fall off. And you know,
wait. So everything has a weight, Sly.
Mm-hmm.
Do regains?
No, they're the same.
See, no. Like actual characters have a weight, even
but they're not proportionate.
No, it's not proportionate because a Lalafell in a row would have the same.
Just like they wouldn't run at the same speeds in real life.
Yeah,
like
they would have the same value. And I know it's bullshit. It's
my
bullshit.
version
in other words, you have to bring 8 of the same race. Or you're gonna wipe.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be Lalafells.
We now have to min-max in like race height and race size and
this fight is racist, essentially.
Yeah. One thing. Speaking of that, like before you go on anywhere, speaking of that, we're used to Sophie being a certain shade. What caused the pigmentation? Ethys.
Wait, can you say it again?
We're used to Sophie being a certain shade. If you remember.
Certain shape.
Shade.
Are you referring to the fact that she's black?
And not...
which I have no problem with.
Are you sure you don't have problems with black people?
Are you trying to put me
listen, Uncle Ruckus.
I want a more explanation as to why the pigmentation changed from fucking Final Fantasy VI to now. God damn it. Like, I wanted more explanation. Like, when I saw her, I'm like, okay.
Are you trying to say that's positive discrimination?
No, I wanted more explanation. I want to fucking
what have I done to you? You're disgusting. Oh my god.
I want a more explanation because I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting it.
It's filthy racist on our show. Alright, what's the point?
We have a big liberal pussy and Uncle Ruckus on our show so far. That's who we have on our fucking show.
Uncle Ruckus.
What are you trying to say? What's the point you're trying to make about her shade?
No, I want to know.
Sephiroth's dark skin too. You never brought that up.
He was dark skinned in 6.
Oh, are you saying that you think maybe the Mericidians were black? That'd be a little bit morbid, dude. That would be poor taste.
Oh, come on! You're just saying that because that's what you said about the fucking Indian thing. Word for word, the Native American fucking outfit. We said the same thing, word for word.
Look, Sly's trying to make a point here, and I have no idea.
Didn't the Mericidians worship the sun? She got a tan.
I'm asking you, what is the reason for the difference between her look in 6 and now? She is darker, obviously.
Because they worship the sun in this game, and she got a tan.
You're baiting me. You're trying to bait me into
I'm not trying to bait you. This is a real question. You know what? Fuck it. I give up. I fucking give up. This was an actual fucking legit question. Like when I first saw the trailer.
You're asking me why she's black. I can't answer that question.
The answer is Alligans. When in Final Fantasy
I can't
14,
answer that question without seeming like a racist. All right, you're baiting me. I'm not
baiting you. I give up. Fine.
Mike, why is she black?
Okay, there's 2 explanations. One, didn't you suspect that they worshipped what's the 12? Who is the 12 member that the Mericidians worshipped? The member of the 12 that you thought they worshipped?
No, Azima had the same symbol.
Azima of the sun, right? She got a tan, all right?
Oh, okay, all right. She's got a tan. That's it.
Right.
Or 2,
What explanation?
Alligans. The explanation's always Alligans. They just do everything.
Just Alligans.
Alligans just do whatever they want, all right?
That's terrible. Sly, that was a terrible line of questioning. I'm sorry, dude.
It was. sorry if you can't notice the fact that she's gotten completely darker.
It's
from her Final Fantasy 6 point of view.
I don't see color.
Oh, fuck you! I'm done!
I'm not saying it's Alligans, but
oh no!
that's it, man. That's it. I like this reason. It's patch 3.4. It's soul surrender. Girls got soul. That's why.
She's got soul. All right, that's terrible. We gotta move, guys. We gotta move past it. We are gonna.
And I'm colorblind, so you really shouldn't be asking me this in the first place. So.
Oh God.
Can we just have like 5 seconds of silence for everyone in the YouTube comments to quickly like do their thing and get upset at us?
Yeah.
All right.
Please follow me. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your input, everyone in the YouTube comments. We appreciate it. We love you. Go fuck yourself.
There you go. Oh man. Now that we've settled that, probably the biggest debate of 2016, more so.
Okay. All right.
Anything else that's happened? Yeah.
Oh God.
We already kind of spoke about the main scenario, so that kind of covers everything that's in the trailer. Stopping it, so great point to end on for the fucking trailer, by the way. The music, to talk about something else, was fantastic for the entire trailer. Alexander's new themes were amazing. Sophia's theme was amazing. And we go forward and back, and then all I could think of is you put your right foot in.
Yeah, it's a hokey pokey. It's Allegan hokey pokey.
Right. No, it's goblin hokey pokey.
Goblin hokey pokey.
Yeah.
You do the hokey pokey in.
You put your gob foot in. You put your gob foot out.
There you go. And you shake it all about. There you go. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, yeah. Anyway, so then we got into the live letter immediately after, and we've kind of already touched upon most of the things there. You know, Yoshida shitting on Foxclaw, him attempting to solo Sophia because they left God mode on, even though he still died, because apparently even the game has attacks that go through developer mode for some fucking reason, or they turned it off mid-fight. Actually, I wasn't paying attention. We got to see spectator mode, so esports, we esports now, which it looked fine. The problem is still that you can only do it with custom matches on your own server. But in 3.5, we are getting the cross-server party finder, so at least we have data center. Now we just need NAEU JP, essentially, to make sure. Well, technically EU, their whole tournament is EU because they are only on one data center. You could hold an EU tournament with like no concerns whatsoever once the 3.5 feature comes out. Then they showed off the apartments, they showed off the size, they showed off the aquariums. We've touched on most of this, the platoons. The big thing that confused the fuck out of everyone, and myself for a very long time, was Wondrous Tales. Which is their
Animus
new content.
No, it's a new way to promote old content in a more specific way. It's like rather than doing low-level roulette, it's like go and do this low-level trial.
Do you understand how Wondrous Tales works when you watch that? Like, did you at the end of it all go, "Oh, I get it"?
More or less, yeah. You get a sticker that's in a random place from each dungeon, and you line 3 of the stickers up, and you get a prize.
Did you pull from that demonstration that you only get 9 stickers for the week?
I assumed that. I don't think they made it clear, but I did assume that.
So that's essentially what is now in terms of the story. Chloe Aliapo is the friend of the little Mikote girl who lost her family, and is trying to cheer her up with the stories of the Wondrous Tales. She is not the lost child. She is a different child, supposedly.
Right. So it's not the lost child trying to engage in some sad escapism.
No, it's their friend trying to provide it for them.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah. Which applies, there's 2 Mikote children in Idleshire.
In Eorzea.
Yeah, in all of Eorzea, essentially. Chloe Aliapo is her name. And so what happens is once a week, you'll get this journal. It's got 16 tasks in it. the top row was all roulettes. The second row was all 24-mans. The third row was all 2.x extreme primals, and the fourth row was all 8-man raids. I saw turn 1, turn 9, and I couldn't identify the other two. With that, you complete the objectives, you get stickers, and then you get rewards. Yay! Jazz hands. Jazz hands.
It just kind of confuses me that she's like, all right, now I need some stories from my friend, so I need you to go and do these things again. I wouldn't be like, I can fucking tell you about like one of the other 1,000 guns that I've done. No, you do it again, or you get no sticker.
Because like every time you go in, it's your own story. Because like it's like, oh, I went into turn 1 and
again.
And we went up to ADS and the bard couldn't fucking silence it, that piece of shit. And that's what you're writing in Wondrous Tales, by the way.
Yeah.
And then so I
mean,
like,
I guess it's kind of good that like potentially you could get 250 crafted gear, materia, and things like that. That's decent, but again, this is just Animus Reloaded.
Do you know what the odds are of getting those I-250 crafted pieces from Wondrous Tales are, Sly?
No, I don't even probably want to know about them.
0.2%.
Well, they're pretty good. I mean, every slot's 100%.
Now based on what we saw there. It looks like these armor pieces are special. They have the SP indicator at the end, assuming that doesn't change in any way come patch time, and that was something that was intentional and not just, hey, we're on a dev server, so it's got 5 slots, like who gives a shit. Which is still up for debate. It still is. Some people aren't 100% certain if that's the legit. Considering 0.2% versus this person's going to go craft like 20 of them today. Yeah.
I think for 0.2%, it makes sense that they've got 100% slots.
Yeah, they said like 1 or 2 people a week are probably going to get it.
Yeah.
Per server, essentially.
The crackpot.
Yeah, it's basically another weekly crackpot, but with armor. You can even get 100k MGP. That was the 2-line reward. It was a minion and like 100k MGP.
Dang.
The other one was like 60 scripture and I think, what was the other? And 2 grade 5 materia. 2 Maki Matters, I should say. Which you could probably turn into grade 5 materia. What's not clear is if the SP thing is intentional, if there's accessories, or if it's strictly left side armor pieces. That's not made abundant. That's not made clear. But essentially, you need to line up these 3 lines using only 9 stickers, and you can randomize the layout slightly based on using second chance points. And second chance points are only gotten when you complete one of the incomplete duties with a new player. Essentially, a person who's first time or bonus, which adds value to them, or it means you go into Party Finder and say, hey, has anyone never beat Coil before? These 4 coils.
So shit,
anyone?
Already pretty much like we're doing now.
So, I mean, in theory, you could just keep re-rolling and fighting new players until you get all 9.
No, because once you complete it, you can't go back in and earn another second chance point doing it again. It needs to be while the task is incomplete, and when you complete it, you get the point.
Right. Okay.
So for 1 point, you can render a task incomplete. Your current task that you just completed, you can make it incomplete and make a different task complete. That's one. So that technically moves a sticker position. So if you're like, well, the sticker's in a really shitty position, let me use a second chance point and see if I can get it in a position that works based on what I already have. The other one, literally, and it costs 2 second chance points. So these are 2 of your 9 potential in the week. We are assuming you only get 9 per week if you do all 9 instances with a new player. It just shuffles them. Just as fuck it. It shuffles all of the stickers on the board. And fucking hope for the best. And there's only, I think, 6 layouts that work with 9 stickers of the potential however many there are that are possible with getting 9 stickers. Like that includes shitty ones like, you know, maybe you get 2 lines straight and then you get the 1 at the bottom, or it includes an X and then like 1 in the top left. Like all of those are potential layouts. So it's a lot of different, I mean, just math it, you know, just math it. What does a 4x4 grid give you in terms of percentage odds? And then how many possible ones could work with 9 stickers, and you get a percentage. So how do we feel about this? Is this something that you guys are actually going to do every week? Try to get this perfect, awesome, crafted HQ 5-slot I-250 piece every week?
I'll eventually buy shit. So,
I'll shoot for the tombstones.
I mean, yeah, for the tunes, yeah, but
And
for
the lucky matter,
crafted gear, no. God, no. I'll buy the shit.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've abandoned that fact since we've talked about this. He did at the live letter itself, and I believe my notes actually say that you could get anywhere from 3 to 5 100% slots. You're not guaranteed 5 100% slots.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I probably won't try to line up all 9 every week. But if I like see someone in Party Finder being like, oh, you know, first time coil turn 9. Can someone help me? I'll be like, oh shit, that's in my Wondrous Tales. Fuck yeah.
And that's the other question. Does everyone have the same Wondrous Tales every week? I don't think they will. I think everyone will have a different Wondrous Tales.
No, I think it'll be randomized. But I mean, like, for me, stuff like that, stuff where I'd normally be like, I don't know if I can be bothered doing that. I'll be like, yeah, well, why not? You know?
And for those asking where it states that you're limited to 9, in the book itself, it gives you a counter of stickers. It says it's 0 out of 9 stickers. It says it in the top right. If you look at an image of it, which I think I actually have somewhere here, it shows you in the top right corner, it says 0 out of 9, and then as he fills them in, he says 1 out of 9, 2 out of 9, 3 out of 9, implying a maximum of 9 stickers. So that's not just the task that he's tracking at the bottom, it's his own counter. Top right. And also, considering the percentages, if he says like only 1 person a week per server, if you could get 16 stickers, that doesn't hold true at all, essentially. Right. You know what I mean? So, and it works. You know, it's funny. I actually didn't know you could get 3 lines with 9 stickers. Like, somebody had to show me the layouts, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, you're right.
Oh, shit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Put those stickers there.
Yeah.
Put them in the book.
No, don't do that. Don't. It's just a little girl, Ethys. It's a little Makoto.
What?
Yeah, put the stickers in the book.
Yeah, put them right there.
Yeah, put the stickers in the book. Oh, man. Okay. And then that pretty much covered everything. Then they went over, like, the rewards, or some of the things that's going to be available again. The Odin statuette with the Zentetsuken emote. I'm not buying that fucking thing.
I am. Fuck it.
I'm not buying
What a, like, $200 emote.
Yeah, I'm not buying. Like, I may have shit on display now, but no. And then they showed the Final Fantasy XIV magazine again. There's a new arrangement album coming out called Duality, and Ravana's theme is in there, so I kind of want to hear the Primals do Ravana's themes. Blood.
It'll be amazing. That would be amazing.
My fellows.
Who do you think would do the singing? Can Koji?
Man. No, Koji could totally do it. He could
Koji do that?
I don't know. That's kind of a reach for Koji.
No.
He did fucking Moggle Mog, alright? He did Titan.
Okay, you're talking about Moggle Mog and then singing.
Two
different things.
Very different things.
2 different things.
It's going to be a Metal Ravana. Blood, take me down to Heidelin. That's what it's going to be. Metal fucking Ravana.
I'd love to see a metal cover of Ravana. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a word for it. The Lore Compendium finally has a release date. Ethys' personal autobiography.
Yeah, we're getting it at FanFest.
Yeah.
He's going to get the blank one.
And strangely, we're getting it before Japan by like a whole 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
It releases in Japan on my birthday.
Well, it makes sense because it's being written in English and then translated into Japan. Like, most of the dialogue and text in the game is written in English and then translated into Japanese. It's very, very rare.
How did Hoshfon happen then?
What do you mean?
How
did the homosexual overtures of Orshifon?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe the Japanese localization decided to make it more interesting. Actually, Orshifon's, that might have been one of the few instances where the Japanese dialogue actually did come first. But it's true that for the most part, pretty much everything that's written in game in text comes from English first, and then is translated into Japanese and French and German.
Well, you get a Naming Way minion with it. If you don't know who Naming Way is, he lets you name things your way in some of the earlier Final Fantasy games.
It's very gracious of him.
Yeah, he lets you rename your characters in Final Fantasy IV. You just talk to him, you're like, hey, I don't want to be Yang anymore. I want to be Ethys. Or I want to be Pikachu.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, and then I do. So you get a minion with that. It's 4,000 yen in Japan, which is about $40. But in other languages, they said it will be significantly more expensive because of English like printing costs and.
So you reckon it's going to be 40 US at FanFest?
No, I reckon it will be 100 US at FanFest.
You reckon it'll be 100 US at FanFest?
I have a feeling. For a book that thick, yeah.
That's like 180 Australian dollars. I can fuck right off. I mean, I'm gonna buy it. Like
you're acting like this is like a college textbook. I think it's gonna be 60.
It kind of is a college textbook. And to be fair, I'm gonna get like a lot of mileage out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why that made me laugh. I'm gonna get mileage out of this book.
What does it make you laugh?
I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing. And you said you would buy the empty one.
Yeah, I'd buy the empty one. The empty one's gorgeous. I'd use that like as a notebook.
Fanfics.
Yeah, crown drinks.
I thought like 100. I thought like 100 US dollars was like 8,000 Aussie dollars or something like that.
You know what? You can sit on my face, all right?
I don't think you want that. I definitely don't want that.
I don't think I want that either.
I think Ethys and I have the same idea of literally making videos about the book. I think Ethys and I both have the same idea there.
Well, you're gonna do videos just reading the book.
Story time with Mr. Happy.
Well, the thing is, it's more like drawing conclusions between two things. Like, you know, like, I want to know what the fuck Rafflesia is.
Yeah.
Apparently Rafflesia has her own section.
The plant vagina. What the fuck do you think it is?
Yeah, what do you want?
I don't know. They said, like, Rafflesia has her own lore segment in there.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited for that. I don't know. I honestly, my expectations for the book in terms of learning things that I don't already know are pretty low. I think.
Wow, way to fucking put yourself on a pedestal.
No. Hear me out. I'm saying that everything that's in there, they seem to be implying that pretty much everything in there is going to be accessible already. It's going to be stuff that we can learn in the game.
Okay.
It's just going to be. It's already know this shit. I wrote the fucking book. Fuck you.
Well, it's just going to be like centralized and collected in such a way that it's really easy to access, and that's going to be really, really good for me because I have like my notes are a mess. I've got things everywhere, and every time I want to write something on a particular subject, I have to go through digging through piles of crap. And I think it'll be really cool to have just all of it in one place, which is what I think
essentially you're the lore office.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be all the stuff that we already know just in one place with maybe a couple of extra little bits of trivia.
You understand Eorzea has essentially become a fucking class now because we'll have a study book.
Well, you're assuming that I'm going to make it easy for you.
Well, the other thing I'm assuming, you have to understand, this lore compendium's like they're gonna release one a year at this point because there's gonna be a bunch of patches that come out that introduce new lore.
Yeah, again, that's what I was thinking, and what I'm really, really hoping is that it includes some 4.0 stuff. And I think it might because otherwise it's going to be almost immediately redundant.
So you're both thinking that this is the first volume.
Yes, I absolutely think this is only the first. Because as soon as another patch comes out after that lore compendium's release, if it doesn't have information on like 3.5, then all of a sudden 3.5 is all this new shit that I have to put together. And then
the lore compendium. That's why I'm saying like I expect that maybe it'll have at least like some background of Alamigo and stuff like that, which we don't know yet, but we will know in 4.0, just so it's not immediately.
The other thing is we'll know if we're going to Alamigo the weekend of FanFest when it goes on sale, essentially.
Let's be real, we know we go to Alamigo.
But you know what I mean, like it'll have been officially announced. It won't be us going, that's what it is. Don't fucking try to kid yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's going to be available. The only reason I think 100 is because the last book I bought was a fucking textbook in college, man. Those things are ridiculous.
Exactly.
This is essentially a college textbook of lore.
Yeah. Yeah, so, pretty much.
The only difference is there's the only school that's trying to rip you off is Square Enix. They're like, how much can we get for words?
Well, these guys are pretty weeby. They're pretty diehard fans, spending.
Come with the DVD. You never know.
They bought a $30 mount, so like we could easily sell this for $400, right? Yeah. Okay. This makes
They're
sense.
they're buying plane tickets to get over here and get it. So,
Let's see if they can afford one home after we're done. Oh man.
I'm gonna be walking back to the airport, I think.
Yeah, I'll get more use out of this than my college textbook, at least. Definitely. There's the Final Fantasy XIV calendar. That's essentially the same availability as the other thing. Then they showed off the TGS work again, where they're selling fucking like hand towels and bowls and chopsticks, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, cool, I guess.
Oh yeah, they're doing this light novel, which I think means it's a manga.
Yes.
I think that's what I mean.
Yes.
It's not like literally going to be.
It is a manga. In other words, do not open it backwards, or you will spoil the ending.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Do you think we're going to get an English translation of this anytime soon?
No. Are you kidding? Well, I mean, here's the thing. This is not like Final Fantasy XIV itself, where Koji has to do the translation. But they would have to, like, I would imagine this entire novel has been run by him.
Look, to be fair, translating a manga as opposed to translating like an actual light novel is a much simpler task. So they could get it translated pretty quickly. I just don't know if they will.
It's a light novel is a book with some illustrations every now and then.
Is that what it is in Japanese?
Yeah, that's the thing. I know that.
I've been asking people, and they've been saying straight up like,
it's an easier reading book. It's an easier reading book.
Right.
Essentially.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I would have thought, because that's sort of the English implication. But from what I've been hearing from my Japanese friends, is that the implication is that it's literally just a manga. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I hope we get an English translation. I'm sure someone will do a fan translation.
Get on it, Marco.
Yeah, Marco. How's it going? It looks like it's going to be based in one of the previous eras. It looks like it might even be based in the Far East, because the cover shot that we had was some girl with like a katana or something. So
maybe it's following the Final Fantasy XI character, who everyone thinks is going to be our samurai trainer.
Oh god.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it should be good.
And then I got really upset about this last piece of news. They're like, "Hey, the 30th anniversary of Square Enix is coming up. We're gonna do a big event." We're like, "Cool, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna make a real escape game that's only available in Japan."
That's the 30th anniversary of Square Enix or Final Fantasy?
Square Enix. I'm sorry, 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy. You're right. Although, to be fair, Square Enix isn't 30 years old. Square Enix was like, what, 2001, 2000? Because it was Squaresoft before then.
Yeah,
Squaresoft. Yeah. So Final Fantasy's 30 years old next year. We were talking about that because that new mobile game, King's Knight, is actually a year older than Final Fantasy, because it came out in 86 and Final Fantasy came out in 87. Yeah, we were talking about that. And yeah, so if you've ever played a real escape game, fantastic, because if you're not in Japan, it doesn't matter, because you won't get to play it. They're cool. And it's a Bahamut themed one too, which means it's gonna be badass.
Do you think there's gonna be like some guy dressed up in a Bahamut suit just running around?
No, there's gonna be someone dressed up in Hyaligan though.
Right.
Who does?
Because I was gonna say like if that's not like a thematic thing, I bet you like someone's just gonna show up like dressed up in a Bahamut suit and like pretend to be part of the official thing and just run around molesting people.
Yeah, that's easy.
What if it's actually timed, and if you don't get the requirement, you get gigaflared?
Yeah, and you die for real.
Yeah, you die like you get gigaflared if you don't get out in time. Like, you gotta get out in like 30 minutes, or you get gigaflared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Wonderful times, eh? Yeah, so if you're in Japan, enjoy that, because we won't.
Have fun.
It's funny, Ethys is actually the one closest to being able to enjoy it. He's got the shortest flight.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm used to missing out on things, so...
That's right, you're not missing out on FanFest. And then they just briefly talked about the fact that they're buffing Astrologians, which they said they weren't going to talk about, but they're like, fuck it, we got 10 minutes, let's just bring it up. Which they said that they're buffing their shields and their cards, and Yoshi P said he's afraid of what like top-tier players will be able to do with Astrologian.
Well, you wouldn't have to be afraid of it if you did some testing.
Dude, the technology.
Here we go.
The technology's not
Technology's
there,
here. The technology's obviously
No. The technology's not there.
We don't have the technology, and there's just not enough people. There's no people that could possibly do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think it's feasible. If it was, I feel like another company would have done it by now.
Yeah, I feel like other games probably would do it if it was possible. You know?
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out when it actually launches.
That is so typical Yoshida being like, well, we're going to release it. I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, it'll be cool to see what people do with it. I haven't played it. Have you played it? No? All right.
Time. Okay, both of you. You're both going to FanFest. If they actually announce the fact, like, the shit that they will test, they will open, testing servers to us, would you be happy? Would you?
Yes. No. After all of this, no, Sly. After all of this, I would be fucking appalled. Yeah, of course I would be happy.
Do you, Sly? If we had access to testing servers, do you have any idea how good that would be for our YouTube channels?
Although to be fair, I feel like they'd keep all the lore out of the fucking.
Yeah, they would.
But you'll find that
I'm
rock.
Flexible.
You'll find that
I'm
rock
flexible.
that's different.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Oh man. One day. I don't want to test a server that lets us test everything. But things like this would be nice. Like, hey, we're gonna give you a server that the only thing different is Astro's buffed. Go do Midas and go do primals and shit that's already in the game, and then just
it'd be so easy. So easy.
I would be Mr. Happy if they fucking did that. Yeah.
So easy. Or better yet, just let us use the dev server so we can go and play like 4.0.
Yeah, that's kind of in the other spectrum of where I was going with my discussion. So you're on your own on that one. But...
All right, fine.
Yeah, you know what they could do? They could just update Zalera before the rest of the game to get people to play on it.
Oh, fucking savage, man.
Oh,
God damn.
There we go. Oof. That's where the real world first happened.
Ouch.
Okay, there you go. Let's see. Then they also commented on the fact that once again, this Alexander is more mechanically driven than Gordius.
Mm-hmm.
It's more mechanically than DPS. We'll see what the clear rates actually end up being. Thank you, Hammer, for the joke. I did read that right out of the chat. Yeah. Yeah. And then they showed off the countdown timer, which looked nice. It's like countdown timers. I think the countdown timer is literally like 5, 4, 3.
That's what it needs to be.
2. Well, and then you're still gonna have somebody who's like, "Hold on, my cat's on my lap."
No. You're gonna have that one person who goes on 2 every time.
Yeah, the guy who's like, "Oh, I go on 2 because it takes me 2 seconds to run up to the boss and to shield lob it, and it's not in position until the countdown hits 0."
Well, that's the thing. My tank always goes on 2, so then I just go on like 3.
Yeah.
I'll just like Spine Shatter on like 3, and then just 1.
There you go.
You don't do Spine Shatter?
Yeah. Depends on the fight.
But you don't have Chub Up. You should be opening with Dragonfire, right? Let's not get into a goon bait.
Yeah. It depends on the fight.
And on that note, I think we've pretty much wrapped up all the details we're going to get out of this. We have the patch notes this Friday, the preliminary patch notes, so there will be plenty to discuss there.
Sweet.
Then Monday, the servers will be down for 24 hours, 3 a.m. PDT Monday to 3 a.m. PDT Tuesday. With that, we'll have the full patch notes during the day at some point there. Yoshi P usually does that live reading. And we patch on Tuesday, and then we have patch a week from today. And we have then we have expansion announcement like 2.5 weeks from that. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to think that. What are you doing over there? What are you typing over there? Big liberal pussy. Okay, there you go. Thank you for resubscribing, by the way, Ethys. You're going to be really happy with Mel and me in about 5 minutes. All right. So anyway, on that note, guys, we're going to wrap up the show. It's been a good long one, giggity, today. Next week, we'll be doing patch impressions. Ethys will not be joining us for that one, because fuck him.
Fuck me, right?
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
Big liberal pussy.
Yeah, I don't want big liberal pussies on my show anymore.
Big liberal pussy.
On that note,
who we got next week?
So I have one confirmed guest that I will say right now, and that's Mary. I have another guest that's unconfirmed currently, so I won't put them on the spot and say they'll be there. All right? Is that fair? Ethys will be joining us the week after that, though, to do the spoiler. We're only doing 1 week of spoiler cast because the following Tuesday is the Tuesday before FanFest, and Ethys has like a 2,000-year flight to get here, so we're gonna let him sleep the whole day before.
I'm gonna sleep so much.
And then the following week, Ethys will have just gotten back from another 2,000-year flight, and so we won't have it then. And then Aerosivia is the following week after that. So we actually have State of the Realm pretty much.
And we'll have a study gun.
Yeah, the next 5 or so weeks we have planned out, with next week being Impressions, the following week being Lore, Spoiler Cast. The week I don't know about the week after that, but we'll probably talk about how the patch is working its way out at that point, or any sort of early expansion teasers we might have at that point. And the following week, and then Palace of the Dead and all that other shit's coming out, you know what I mean? But on that note, it's time we wrapped up the show. So, gentlemen, why don't we say our goodbyes? Ethys, you are more than welcome to go first.
I don't know that after today's show we qualify as gentlemen anymore. I think we kind of threw that one out the window a few hours ago, didn't we? Anyway, thanks for hanging out with these gentlemen, guys. It's good to see you all. I'm Ethys. You can find me on youtube.com/EthysAsher or on Twitter @Ethys FFXIV. If you are not already subbed or following me in those places, you probably should, because I get to make sandwiches when you do. And I'll see you guys at FanFest if you're going to be there. It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm glad you're looking forward to it, Ethys. I'm ecstatic that you're looking forward.
You sound ecstatic.
I am ecstatic.
Yeah, you look it.
Yeah,
I can tell.
You look like a pretty cool guy right now. You're looking pretty cool. Yeah, he looked.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you know, Mel sent that to me when you were going to get coffee, and then I did this while you were out getting coffee before the show.
Fuck you, Mel.
And then we have this man who clearly hates black people. Sly, why don't you tell him where they can find you at?
Well, first of all, my name Uncle Ruckus. How y'all doing? No relation. You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Instagram @Slyakagreyfox07. You can find me on Twitter @Slythefox. You can find me on Behemoth Plot 14, Word 5 of the Lavender Beds. And apparently I'm a racist.
Yeah, Ethys. According to Ethys, you're racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who sees no color? So I have 2 colorblind hosts.
Yeah.
You call me a hoe?
Hosts.
Oh,
Wow.
with a T. Okay.
Jeez, you're just brutal today, Sly.
Yeah.
All right.
Cut it down, dude.
There you go. Yeah, State of the Realm now with 1,000% more racism. There we go.
Exactly.
And then I'm the other guy. To ignore Dwayne, he pops up. Okay, he just wanted to say hi real quick. And for some reason, I'm anti-aliasing out the ass right now. Holy shit. The anti-aliasing was strong. Dwayne, hey, what's going on, man? There we go. Now it's not so bad. You can find me, Mr. Happy127, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and now Instagram, because I started trying to figure out how that thing works.
It's pretty simple.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not very interesting, so like I gotta really stretch it.
You're not very good at selfies, are you?
Yeah, it's no. Well, no. So I mean, like I got what's this one? Like I took a picture of Yasmat when I started that fight, and then I have one of me at like 6 a.m. about to die. I have one of me taking a selfie, but it's through a stainless steel French press.
Wow.
And so it's like I'm taking a picture of me in the reflection of the French press.
You dirty hipster.
I got, let's see, I have one with, what is one, fuck, I keep looking at my ugly face. I got one from GameStop Expo. I got one with a milk mustache.
We've been sitting here looking at your ugly face all morning.
Yeah, well, the feeling's mutual. Moon Man. There you go. All right, but on that note, everyone, we're going to wrap things up, move over into a short post show so Sly can get on with his evening stream. And Ethys can go on doing whatever Australians do during the day. We'll see you next week. And until then, take care.
Bye!
Apparently being liberal pussies.
That's not all of Australia. That's just him. That's racist to assume that it's all.
That's racist. I know.
That it's all of Australia.
Fucking racist.
Why are you so racist?
I'm so triggered right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. That's fun. That's always fun. This was a quality fucking show.